And, well, Zai will find him into the level 1 shackle, but gotta be careful coming up so close. Bo3 is making his rotation up, thanks to the observer ward that was already planted by EG. By IG. They knew the Wind Ranger was up to this. EG actually have no vision on the Radiant side of the river. They only have that one defensive ward in the mid lane.
So this is fairly slow here in the start, and everyone is just farming. More or less, like a few attempts have been made, but nothing too successful when it comes to pressuring your opponent away. Ideally, I would say EG want to start trying to pressure towers before these supports hit level 6 on IG, so I think soon we're going to see when Universe hits level 6, it's likely that there will be a support rotation. Either he will come to their lane and try to get a kill on the whichever hero is in the top lane, then pushing that tower, or they're going to go for a double support rotation to bottom with the Nature's Prophet joining in for that. I think just sitting back and keeping on farming, just playing this style, will give IG the spike that they're looking for in about 4 minutes on their supports. And EG could make the first good move here very soon.
Crit's looking for the Observer Ward, but it's a little bit more unusual for the early game. He's got it up on the hillside, so XXS just starts with a sticky napalm. OP, now the Flame Wreck will pull him back in range of the Searing Chains, but Zai connects onto the Shackle. Rubik, well, with a little bit of help, TPing in from Universe. XXS, now he fireflies right out through the Roshan pit. So the first rotation in from the Nature's Prophet. You know, TP straight back down the bottom lane, doesn't miss out on much, but allows Burning and Q to push into the tier 1 tower and do some decent damage.
Great Shackle shot there from Zai. Saves the Rubik. However, by virtue of IG making that aggressive move and forcing rotation, it is not EG making the move. And as you said, a lot of the tower bottom is now gone. Burning has brought this down to about a third together with Q.
TPs are coming in. The Shackle!
Nice!
Zai! Perfect tool X! Hits on with Phoenix, getting the Sunstrike follow-up and Burning. Oh, no real way to escape this unless evasion is his friend, which it is not. Zai and Samael get the kills.
That was a very, very nice Shackle shot from Zai. I think if you're IG in that position, you're not really considering that assault angle at that point in time. So if you're thinking about, oh, there might be a Shackle shot, they're probably thinking he could come from the front or maybe from the right. But Zai made a very good rotation coming in from the Shrine side and caught them off guard there. And 2 kills out of that. I thought they were only going to get the Phoenix, but they actually got both. The kill on Burning is especially big, in addition to defending their tower. So this
Crit went for a quick movement straight after. Like, they smoked up, he drew a line in towards the mid. They want to move and shift the pressure from bottom lane into mid. Have Invictus Gaming rotating for them with Nature's Prophet TPing out. You do actually have the Icarus dive. Cold Snap's making it difficult. Down he goes, and Q the power shot and the attack. It reaches, and the Phoenix will fall. OP's moving over under the cover of Invis and Flame Guard up. EG will back up, be happy with the 1 kill.
It's very important for IG at this point that this doesn't turn into a significant tower push. Of course, they do have the Treant, who can heal their towers up again. He doesn't have Living Armor skilled, however, so this is that sweet spot for EG to get that done. But I wonder when we're going to see, or rather what we're going to see from this. But actually, Batrider does have the Blink Dagger on Quickbuy, and he's only 700 away. So this move from XXS that will really start their lineup off. We haven't talked too much about them in terms of starting fights. We said they want to do team fights, which they definitely do, but they need to set up the conditions for a team fight in the first place. Batrider Blink Dagger is a great way of doing it. Speaking of him, he's going to get jumped here by the Slark.
The Sunstrike's going to be off target, however, and Arteezy can't keep him controlled. And XXS tries to make the most out of it. Firefly farm while he can.
Still closing in on that. So the Blink Dagger on Batrider is important. Levels on Ember into this Veil, also very important. Something to note about the changes to Phoenix. I can't remember which patch it was, if it was actually 7.0. But you might remember Sunray used to be pure damage. It is magical. So it deals more damage now than before if you do have a Veil, which OP will be picking up mainly for himself, but of course all this amplification adds up. Great for the Batrider Firefly as well. So I like it. We've seen a bit of a change in the way people play Ember. A lot of Embers rush the Boots of Travel. But in this game, very clear what IG want to do.
Yeah.
They want to look for these fights.
Oh, you said it yourself, like, EG is going to come to you. You don't want to let them, like, force down the towers. And you can see that through the build-in from the Nature's Prophet, building into that early drums. So he understands he needs to give the aura, not just go straight for a Hand of Midas or anything like that, the greed farm-style build.
Now, we generally see this build from Universe, I think, in his Nature's Prophet games. This has been his go-to, going for the drums and then Midas, so that you hit that very quick early power spike compared to other heroes in the game, and then you want to utilize this. It plays very well into the idea of pushing towers, having this drum for your treants and for the other heroes that group up with you naturally when you go for kills. For now, it's just using it to farm, though, and the question is how EG set up a fight. Their catch is still limited. Slark doesn't have the Shadow Blade yet. Windranger's level 4. Obviously, Rubik doesn't have a blink, so they might just be waiting for this Arteezy Shadow Blade, which is coming in at about 500.
The pressure they're applying on bottom lane, however, may just be enough to force EG to fight down here. You have Prophet as well as Windranger, but the Observer and Sentry's behind, so EG know exactly what they're up against if this does happen. And yeah, Universe is out. He's going to join Arteezy. Tier 1 for Tier 1 tower. Trigger a drum charge for these treants, and that will be enough to bring down the tower. So a 1-for-1 trade-off, Burning and Arteezy getting the last hits. Such an even matchup between them all. The only person who has the advantage is Arteezy on the net worth, sitting just shy of 6k.
He has a fairly big advantage, actually. This is what happens when Slark gets completely free lane. This is very, very early. Having 11-minute Shadow Blade, Treads, Aquila, and Magic Wand is exceptional. He has 100 CS min 11. So Arteezy is ready to go, and I think that is the play for EG now. Like, get him activated, let the Nature's Prophet and the Invoker farm the jungle and the lanes, see if you can get a couple picks here and there. And especially, you're looking at Burning, and they've of course checked him out. They know he's going for this Battle Fury. He showed the Ring of Health and the Broadsword in his inventory. This hero is food right now. He has, like, absolutely no health. If he gets jumped by the Slark and a Sunstrike, he's dead.
Oh, crit. He was just walking up, he saw the Spirit, but with both Burning as well as OP there, they have the damage. Burning's trying to TP out. The Sunstrike, OP was almost tanking it as well to try and save Burning. Wasn't enough. Bo3, now he's the man who has to fight up against Arteezy. The Sunrays turned on, the Spirit Jump, OP blocking up Arteezy, even inside the Shadow Dance. Arteezy just has to leg it away. But a 1-for-1 trade-off, you're very happy with that if you're EG.
Yeah, it's a great trade. They lose their Rubik. Arguably, maybe Crit didn't even need to be there before Arteezy got in and scouted for him, but at the end of the day, he kind of just baited IG into a bad position, and they got that key kill. And you just saw it there. I don't even know if... I think Crit dealt 0 damage to the PA. She was full health. Gets jumped by Slark and Sunstrike, and he dies. And that Sunstrike was even split with the Ember. Yep. So they have way overkill on him right now, and there's nothing in sight.
Max Exort. He's already done it.
This is looking very, very good for EG this early into the game.
But now it's IG's turn to fight. They smoke up and invade into the Dire jungle. They got that Blink Dagger of XXS they really want to be using. So they... Actually, it's the Dire who scan a little bit closer towards their own Ancients on the south side.
Oh, it just expired when they were about to get in there. So XXS will avoid it.
He's still waiting for someone from EG to defend. OP and Bo3 just pushing it, the power shot's looking for something else, and okay, IG are really uncertain about this. And understandably so. They need to play underneath the sentry ward. Arteezy's just on the edge of the detection of the ward. Now he'll walk into it.
There's a couple of problems for IG right now that they have to play around. Their Treant isn't level 6. It's 13.5 minutes in. He's still got 2/3 of a level to go, so Bo3 having a pretty bad game by his standards in terms of levels. And when Burning is going for this farming build on PA, he's not combat ready. So this fight in mid was effectively a 4-on-5 where he wasn't even there. And that's what I was talking about earlier. I don't know if IG are a little bit out of their comfort zone in some of these games, but this doesn't look as sharp as they did on the first day. Especially in terms of the synchronization between their lineup. This seems a bit out of place, that they want to try to team fight, and then their PA builds a split pushing build. Whereas when they played OG, for example, and they went for the anti-mage with the ultra farming build, they were dodging like no tomorrow in that game, playing full split push themselves. But this is like two directions. And it makes me wonder, is the only playstyle they play Burning on just like farm, 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 farm?
Maybe.
Because that won't work every game necessarily.
Bo3 found a friend, started with the lead seed, then went in for the punch. Universe TPing out, but the damage should be more than enough. Burning will find the kill.
That's big for him. That's his Battle Fury almost. He's going to get it. Unless OP steals his 2 last hits with the illusions. Pretty sure B-God isn't pleased with that. Is he going to sell something? No, he's going to wait a little.
He's got it.
He'll have it in a second. So Arteezy is going to be pushing out this top lane. I think what he's thinking about here is if he shoves in this lane, he can place a good lane ward and then maybe make a rotation to another lane.
Oh,
but he needs to be careful. He didn't get the Dark Pack off.
Blink Lasso. Have they got enough damage with the Sunray? Arteezy going to go inside the Shadow Dance, but all you got to do is follow the puff of smoke and keep the sticky napalms up. But Arteezy. It'll wear off, and now they try and turn it around, and with the Sunstrike, Sumail gets a rebuttal.
That's just on the edge there. The max level Exort. It's so much damage right now. 475 pure damage on that Sunstrike. That's half of Phoenix's health.
And I was expecting like another TP to come in from Invictus Gaming before they attempted that, but XXS really believed he had that. But without any kind of dust, like he's carrying at the moment double infused raindrops on this Batrider and not having any dust to speak of.
So what are IG going to do now? I'm very curious about their plan, since the Battle Fury is now online for Burning, and they now have their level 6 on Treant. So this is where options open up that they didn't have before. In my opinion, their lineup just got like twice as strong by having Overgrowth, because now they can protect their egg. The only hero that can realistically really get hits off would be the Slark Dark Pacting off the Overgrowth and then attacking. Everyone else will more than likely get hit or not want to really run into this Ember right now and the Batrider. There's going to be a lot of fire everywhere that they have to get through. And it looks like Burning is working toward Deso now. So a bit of
combat?
Bit of both worlds here with the farming item of the Battle Fury and then the combat item in Deso. In a way, Deso is more or less mandatory on PA right now, the way the hero is played. But this Battle Fury I haven't seen for a long time. This is very unusual.
That's what happens when
Last time I doubted Burning, he ruined my predictions. So let's just say this is good.
Hey, this time he doesn't actually have the Battle Fury plus the Empower. That Sunstrike's on the Mark Q. Down to 110. He was just standing still, however, so it was a fairly easy Sunstrike.
It's still important for IG that even if they take this harassment and get pressured a little bit, EG are not knocking down towers. Bo3 has a point in living armor, so this mid tower is slowly getting healed up. And the game is relatively quiet right now, and that allows for Burning to play the way he wants, at the very least. Question is if this PA realistically will win this game with her farm and together with the Ember. If that core matchup is good enough, once the Slark obviously is... He's closing in on a Silver Edge, which we know is an exceptional counter to the Phantom Assassin. We might see Nature's Prophet get a secondary one later on. And a lot of pro players consider Invoker to be the absolutely... Like, if you could just pick any hero and have it in the ultra late game with full items and everything and have the right player on it, a lot of people say Invoker is like the best hero in the game. Late game, this hero just does so much when BKBs are low and you have like this massive array of spells. It's troublesome for IG to deal with that, I feel. So
I'll see how IG deal with EG's aggression. They 3-man smoked underneath their Southern Shrine, and now IG will actually smoke as well. They're pushing up to maybe wrap around. Sumail is the primary target, and XXS blink in, lasso on back. They keep him in the Sunray, and Max Spirit committal, so Sumail will fall. Rubik reveals himself by actually stealing an ability from down inside the Radiant jungle, but with the death of Sumail, EG will not take the fight, and they will also not defend their Tier 1 tower.
It's always a big moment and one of the most annoying moments when you're playing if both teams are looking to make an aggressive play at the same time and one guy is semi-baiting, but the bait isn't ready. Sumail got jumped 10 seconds too early there. His team wasn't there. So not only do they get that key kill, but EG's move also becomes obvious because they're not showing elsewhere on the map. So they effectively like made 2 plays at once. They avoided a play and made their own play here. And EG, like you said, didn't really get much out of this.
Bo3. He was on the edge of that dust. Makes a break for the tree line. He stole the bounty rune and will TP out. Slippery. I say little tree, but he's really not that little.
By the way, if you if you remember 10 minutes ago in this game, the supports of IG were clearly behind in terms of experience, but just this one kill on Invoker is worth a lot for them. The Phoenix is now level 9 and almost a half. Will be getting his Hand of Midas within a reasonable timing, I would imagine. I'm guessing that is what they go for. Treant is also going for a Midas.
Delay this game up.
I think we talked about it earlier that it seems like if you go 4 Midases or more, I think the teams with a lot of Midases, like that many, have a pretty bad win rate. 3 is like the soft spot.
EG. Buyback if he wants. Initiation jump over on Burning, takes so much damage early on. Roshan outside the pit. Wondering what the commotion is on his front doorstep. And really it's just Burning dying.
That's just the weakness of his build right now. He's
oh, the shackle, perfect! The Sunstrike, OP's got no defensive shields! Oh, Arteezy has a double kill, and you want a ticket to go Roshan, both Ember and PA down. That's your ticket.
I still think Batrider might try to be cheeky here and try to steal it. Realistically, this is not going to be successful.
They don't have an observer ward to see him. They don't see around that side of the pit.
Boy,
so Roshan's low. XXS has Flamebreak available. He's got to do it now. Phoenix jumps in the pickup. Telekinesis grind. Arteezy pick up the Aegis Immortal, will go into the Supernova. The damage, where is it? The Root's actually not letting me get the last hit off to the Nova. It gets killed off before it can trigger. You still have the Aegis Immortal going. Out. So the respawn up for
the split push, right? Like Sumail is not going to expect to get ganked by the PA when he's out split pushing. It's more than likely going to be Bat plus. On the goal and 7,500 on the XP. And I think just if this playstyle goes on, it will favor EG more and more over time in terms of the graph ramping up. I don't think IG's heroes will farm as effectively, and I'm saying that even with a Battle Fury PA. It's just that their side of the map is way scarier to play than vice versa.
yeah.
Because all of the really good pickoff potential, apart from Batrider, is on EG's side.
Not to mention, I guess you want to go out into your own jungle, Universe continues to farm it up.
And that,
so
oh,
you
wait, where did the gem go?
Gem of True Side?
Did he put it back on the courier, Arteezy? Where is it? Oh, they put it in base again. So they wanted to just have that gem for the Roshan fight, and now that they don't have an Aegis, they're not feeling comfortable in bringing out the gem. We might see them pick it up if they try to make a 5-man move a bit later, or a 4-man rotation with Furion pushing a lane. But for now, not going to be the case.
Best not to risk it. These ward positionings from IG in the laning.
Bottom lane.
Yeah, Sumail BT'd in. He wants Bo3. Bo3 doesn't really have enough life to survive it, however. The combination, too good and too easy for Sumail. And while he does that with no treant up, the other 4 of EG forcing in through the top lane, looking for that tier 2 tower. There's only 2 remaining out of towers now for IG. And every time they lose this, they're slowly getting throttled back into their own base.
Oh, Burning wants some of this juicy gold. Got a couple. No crits, though. And now he's going to go for BKB.
Yep.
So, when these BKBs come out, EG will hit... Invoker loses a lot of effectiveness when the BKBs are high duration. And that might be what IG are trying to wait for here. Get the BKB on Batrider, get the BKB on PA, and then look to fight. You still need to be a bit careful with... Just even the right clicks of EG are actually fairly substantial still. Because Slark is as rich as he is. And of course Invoker, even without a spell, you know, you got Alacrity. It's a good spell. Slark with Alacrity can kill a PA. If he silver edges him first.
So how does IG actually approach the fight then? Or do they still approach the fight? Like, you have the BKB, it's fantastic. But do you just use that as like insurance so you can continue to farm up? Is OP really ready to engage before he has his Lincoln Sphere up? Like, yeah, Burning should be ready, but is that when you look at a 3-man gang squad? Like, you actually take the Batrider with the Phoenix and the PA and try and find an opening.
Yeah, it's a bit tough right now to see how IG set it up, just because their lanes are always an issue. And of course, having these travels on Ember is great, but he won't dare to push this out that far unless he has some key vision out. If he gets Shackle shot and Slark is there, he dies. The Orchid now coming out of Nature's Prophet is also going to be a problem for him when he's split pushing. And even when he has the Lincolns, he can still be in trouble against the Sprout. So, yeah, IG just look like they might want to make a move now. They're at least grouping up here. The Smoke of Deceit is ready on Q. I guess they will smoke here. Burning will get the BKB. So this is the timing window they were looking for. They're going to smoke here, I would imagine.
Yeah, but they have the Observer Ward, which is going to get de-warded. Arteezy was losing his ulti. So they understood it.
This is still a very good timing now for IG. At least, given how far behind they are, this is the best chance they've had in the last 5 minutes to take a good fight. That's how much this BKB matters.
But you just got the Lincoln Sphere over on the Invoker. Like, it just got completed before this push.
Are they going to be too late here? Is there a glyph? There is a glyph.
Well, they can delay it. Arteezy's actually got the Lincoln Sphere effect on him,
and
so they're protecting the Slark. But look at XXS all the way around the back. He'll jump in, but crit! He'll get the telekinesis lift, not to mention the double stun on PA and Bo3. They're never in the fight. Supernova is down. Zai's trying to get rid of it, but it'll be Arteezy to finish the job. A 1-for-1 trade-off. Burning still looking for a fight. They find crit at least. And then maybe a Shrine trigger time. The tier 2 tower remains alive on 28 HP.
He's going to heal it up. So that was a 2-for-1 trade-off where PA used her BKB. I would say overall this is fairly even, to be honest. Getting this PA BKB down is really crucial to EG. And I think the play to highlight here is Universe with a very, very clutch Orchid onto the Treant. Treant was super close to getting Overgrowth off, got Orchided, didn't use it in the fight, and the Supernova got destroyed. Very, very important for EG. Also, that fight could have gone very, very
the jump up. He has Lasso, but he was hesitant, worried about the Dark Pact.
Batrider against Slark is always a mind game. It's like, do you think he has reacted? Who's really baiting who?
At that time, he actually hadn't. If he went for the instant Lasso, Dark Pact wasn't triggered.
He still needs to Force Staff first as well. And then if you get the Lasso, can you realistically pull him to your teammates when you don't have the Force Staff to bring him down? It's one thing to catch him with the Lasso, but the follow-up needs to be there. If they don't burst him in the Lasso, he's just going to ulti and run away. So, tricky. Oh, that ward did not work out. Oh, did it?
Oh, crit, the pickup, the throw down, Sunstrike, a little bit off the mark, but the Shackle will be on the mark, on top of Burning, holding him in the tree line, not to mention the trees of Universe, controlling the Phoenix. So 2 heroes down, Bo3's on the run, Tornado will pick him up. The power shot won't connect, but he does take some fall damage, and with a gem on Arteezy, nowhere to hide for the Treant Protector.
Sometimes getting de-warded is a good ward. It was right under a sentry, it baited in Burning just to quell it, and they saw the opening on him. 2 IG heroes who were dead. Arguably a pretty aggressive positioning from them, given that they were 3 on 5.
Burning's going to have to buy back.
And EG just pounced on it right away. This does not look good for IG. This game has been very underwhelming for them. EG, on the other hand, are playing a very solid game. That's going to be the tier 3. Arteezy has a...
well, nice tornado. It actually caught the Batrider. That's the Batrider who's the man holding that fresh gem. Crit will hold him even harder with a telekinesis grab. And buyback is out from Burning. Spirit jump forward from OP, gets Searing Chains crit in the tree line. He's still holding himself. Spirit's jumped in, looking for his damage onto the Ember Spirit. Won't happen when Burning is BK beat up. But Zai, 20 HP. He's on the run. Burning has no vision of him. And IG have to worry about their home. The tier 3 tower's lost in the mid. Tier 3 tower lost on the bottom.
That's such a big win for EG again. Like, even this fight, it looked like they could have been good for IG when they got that supernova in the middle of the whole fight, but EG managed to disengage. Their heroes are pretty mobile right now. Windrunner has Windrun, Slark can pounce away, Invoker can blink or Ghost Walk. The Nature's Prophet also has a Shadow Blade. And at the end of the day, it's only Rubik that dies. And that Rubik traded his life for a Batrider and a PA buyback and a tier 3, so huge win for them. EG's advantage at this point is reaching a level that
20K.
I just don't really see IG's lineup being able to pull this back unless they get like this perfect combo with the like a 3 or 4 man overgrowth at least with Supernova on top and some sort of control on the Slark.
Man, you're kind of hoping that IG stole Ramsey's cake and then made the wish on it. Like, this is the only way this is going to really happen for them. Even the Treants are killing off a Shrine, which OP can't get rid of. Like, he doesn't have clearing, so Burning will have to do it.
Shows up with a 1600 crit, that'll do.
It's like living armor, get it back up again. Roshan is up and EG staring him down. But again, they don't want to really make any kind of risky kind of play, which allows Invictus Gaming a window back in.
I think if IG don't contest this Roche, they're going to lose a lane of Rex as a minimum.
They're not contesting, they're back, and they just walked underneath the dire Observer Ward. So EG know IG are not fighting this.
I think IG want to go, but it's too late. They have the smoke on Treant.
Yep. With the Bloodthorn as well from Universe, Roshan doesn't survive long. So do they come out and fight outside the base? Is it the last roll of the dice, understanding they're in a bad position, they need a good pick off?
I think so. I think if you sit in your base and wait, this fight is going to be too difficult to take.
But Arteezy's the frontliner. He's the only one at risk, and he's the man who's got the second life.
I'm not saying it's easy.
It's just Arteezy.
I just don't really see.
Well, there's an easier pick off. You've got Rubik to the right. They don't see him. Arteezy comes in close. Bobica gets a vision on him, but of course Arteezy knows that when his Shadow Dance wears off.
He's just going to back out, wait for his team to regroup. Of course, they can just send Nature's Prophet top. He's going to start some momentum up here. Getting some very nice levels, by the way, on this Nature's Prophet. He's level 20, Invoker is 23.
How do you even start up a gank? You can't keep vision. Every time Slark walks underneath the Observer Ward, and because Arteezy is rotating so much, they can't keep the obs up. That one Observer Ward, which is sitting looking over the Radiant jungle, has already been pinged. And as far as out of vision go, it's the tier 2 tower up on top and creep waves. It's the only thing that's really giving them vision outside of their own base.
I actually just don't really see the play for IG if they don't have a smoke. I don't... Are they out of smokes? No, there is one on the PA in her backpack. And as I said before, honestly, I think it's the only play. Like, you gotta go try for something here before EG make the move on you. If EG gets the jump, this is about as over as it can be. They're almost maxed out on the Invoker already, minute 34. He's got a really great inventory going here. Just the Midas needs to be replaced for another item. They have the Aegis to play around with, as you already mentioned. And Nature's Prophet is only getting bigger. He's got an item coming out here. What's that?
It's the Silver Edge.
So they have 2 of them against the PA. What do we have coming out on the IG side in response? The BKB on Batrider is still not there because he bought back to try and defend bottom. Phoenix never got his Midas 35 minutes in. Trent got his Midas, which has so far rewarded him a Staff of Wizardry. There's just nothing. There's nothing of value here. The Ember doesn't really deal good damage because his Veil efficiency is falling off. And apart from that, he has a mobility item and a defensive item.
Arteezy, he feels confident, but the blink last saw. Remember, this is on an Aegis target with a tornado from Sumail. It hits perfectly. 3 heroes into the Deafening Blast. Burning will be protected by the BKB. Trying to kill Sumail. Got 1 crit, but it still wasn't enough. Even with OP jumping in, his Lincolns will also trigger. So it's not safe to be on the front lines. And Q, he bought back. So there goes Phoenix's money down the drain.
Oh, a nice Sunray steal from Crit. It's going to heal up Sumail very nicely here.
That bottom rack is gone.
They can't really go in without their Batrider, and he's dead once again.
So this should be mid-racks as well then if EG just move.
Absolutely. They lost nothing there. They're going to have all of their stuff ready again.
So how
no BKB on Burning. He can't go in. He's going to die.
It seems optimistic for Invictus Gaming to even defend this one. If they just have to let it go for a better opportunity. Arteezy pounces himself away, wants to just regenerate up quickly. Thanks to nighttime, vision is low and he can actually do that. He's still got the Aegis the Immortal. We're only just over 3 minutes into that Aegis duration. So they move up, tier 2 tower, and this will open up the third lane of Racked. Batrider is up, but okay, Lasso is up in 2 seconds.
Safe and solid here from EG. I think they could have gone mid as well, but why not? Just claim the free tower, build your advantage even further. Now you can either keep IG inside their base for the next while and wait for another Aegis if you want. I think that's not necessary. Might as well try to use the one they currently have.
Oh, the Shackle, Zai connected. XXS, he also tried to go for the lasso. It won't work. Wrath of Nature killing up the Phoenix. Batrider's gone too. And Arteezy gets the bash onto OPUS, will spirit himself away to safety. Burning, he's going in, the BKB up. Gets the crit on Universe. Finally something going his way. Burning almost got 1,000 gold. That just shows you how far behind Invictus Gaming are. And Burning, he wants to go in again. Will he have enough? Maybe with the rooting. Arteezy on the front lines, still with Aegis the Immortal in hand. Buyback comes in from Prophet. The Sunstrike right in the money. Goodbye Burning. No buyback available. This should be the game. GG is the call. Evil Genius in control.
Yep. They look very excited about that win.
Thrilling!
Arteezy is just saying a nice push.
Yeah, so another day at the office.
Very good game from EG. At the same time, IG, honestly, just falling apart a little bit. I'm a bit disappointed in this performance, and I so far in this tournament, I really haven't felt Batrider as a hero. It seems to have very low impact in all the games it's been picked. It might have won a game that I didn't see on our stream, but overall, just very lackluster. Seems very easy to counterpick with cores. Like the Slark in this game, for example, had a great time. And IG just never really found the moves. And in addition to that, we were discussing this before the game started. Like, is Treant a good hero for Boboka? I think in theory it is. He's good with Ricky.
Yep.
It's similar in style with like roaming around invisible, trying to set up kills, get information.
It just doesn't pack that same like skill level punch which he brings with heroes like Ricky, like the Monkey King, and they had the options.
It's a different style.
Yeah,
it is a different style.
Yeah. I wonder the same thing about the Phoenix. I wonder about like where Invictus Gaming's heroes, which they dominated with so heavily on day one as well as at DAC, where were they for this one?
Let's find out indeed. Thank you very much, Toby. We'll come back, of course, to our commentary team for the second game. EG roll on, having a very good day two, an EG kind of day two. Fans, don't want to panic.
Don't panic. No panicking. But people are definitely finding a hole in their strategy and exploiting that. I think what will end up happening is I think IG might lose out the series, but they'll go back to the drawing board, they'll find out what their weakness is, and they'll see how to fix that.
Yeah, and now that's the great thing about this team, the quality of this team, is that they'll learn far more from these two series today than they've learned in probably a month.
The one thing I will say, though, is Q is a very good captain. People forget, this is a guy who led CDEC to second place at TI5. I don't know, everyone seems to forget that.
Yeah, no, I don't forget it, because Peter never lets me not forget it, because I think, didn't PPD say he was probably the best captain in drafted
Q is amazing.
Yeah, that's what he said.
I guess it's because the other players are just so legendary in that team. But if there's a captain who can do it, I really don't think he gets the credit that he deserves. But if there's a captain who can figure it out in between just these few games, I think it's Q.
Yeah, and we get a day off tomorrow as well. The players can study games and practice and scrim and do whatever they want, but I'd imagine most of them will be reflecting on what's gone on during the group stage. And we're going to have a look at the highlights, Fog. Is there anything in here that you kind of pick out and go, actually, yeah, this was all right from IG?
Honestly, it just looked like EG had just such a better read and a better idea of what they needed to do in this game too. Like, Zai's movement around the map was almost like perfect. He got multiple 2-hero shackles. We saw one in the highlight right there before. He got one on the Ember Spirit. They get a nice combo on top of it. I don't know, it just seemed like EG was super prepared for this one and understanding how to play, especially versus Tree 2. They bought a very early gem, they put it onto Arteezy, he starts running around with the early Shadow Blade, just had so much more, I felt like they had just had so much more map control as well. It just felt like a much easier game for EG.
Yeah, definitely looked that way on paper. I heard you two arguing about MVP on the way in. When I get to the point where we've walked for 30 seconds and you're already arguing about MVP, that says to me that this game was done and dusted pretty early.
Yeah, I think that we were saying like either between Zai,
Sumail, and
Sumail and Arteezy all performed at like perfection.
The thing is, the other EG players played well too.
Yeah.
This game execution was so good from them that it's hard to point out a standout player.
Yeah.
I think we. Do you want to hear a choice?
Well, I mean, you can.
I think all
we'll
three
get
of us
to
had
MVP.
different choices.
Yeah,
you said Sumail, I said Zai, and you said Arteezy.
Right.
You know, and I think, to me, like, Arteezy had 0 deaths. Zai had multiple 2-hero shackles. You know, and Sumail just plays his Invoker the way he always plays Invoker, just owns. You know, it is really hard to select a single player here, and maybe it's more that EG as a whole is just playing super well right now.
Yeah, I don't think that's in the production system, so I don't know if we can give the entire team the
I'll
MVP.
say Zai.
But you're going to go with Zai?
I'll go Zai as well, yeah.
I just think it's a mark of how dominant EG were. That's what we're the biggest thing we're arguing about is who was the MVP of the game. We'll take you through the score, and as you can see, it is a monstrous performance by EG. Well done to them. They have taken the lead in this game. It is a best-of-3 series, of course, and they are looking for a 3-1 advantage here headed into the knockout stages. I think that would be a great recovery from yesterday, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I think Crit would be pretty happy with that.
Yeah.
I think that he did a lot of homework yesterday, or last night even, to coming into this one just because of the way that he came in like drafting. They're not like picking one-dimensional at all. Their draft has a lot of variety and backup plans. Like this draft had push, it had deep push, it had late game potential between like the tri-core. It just seemed like a very well-rounded draft, especially, and also not just well-rounded for what they had, but into what IG had, like the Slark versus the Bat Rider, Slark versus Tree. Just, yeah, very well executed and well planned out from EG from that one. MVP
for Zai in game 1. Another great game from the Swede to add to the many that he's already had for his EG team. They are hitting a bit of form at the right time as well. Do you think there's a little bit of fear in there? Pardon the pun, wasn't actually meant to go there, but there is a little bit of fear in the background of that whole what happened at Boston to them, in that they had a slow start, didn't do very well in the groups, and then end up playing wings. And it's like, do you think there's some fear there that drives them on to go, okay, we need to get a good set of results done in the groups?
I just want to say, you clarified, but Coach Fear could have worked for that sentence as well.
I missed
Fear
one
drive
there.
them? He definitely drove them.
I'm sorry, I did miss that opportunity, yes. But do you think it is? It is there in the background of their minds, and they're thinking, no, we have to have a good groups.
Which one? The coach or the...
Well, I think probably both, actually.
you don't want Fear to be mad at you.
No, quite, no.
I think EG is a team that does have a standard of expectation set for themselves, by themselves, but they're not... I wouldn't classify them as a team that also lets the pressure get to them.
Sure.
So...
Yeah. No, they can have...
I think
they've been
it's more
there,
Coach Fear driving them than the... emotional fear.
They've got 2 fears now in the team. Wait, I'm confused. Are they twins? Are they? Right, enough of this nonsense. Let's take a social media question from our Reddit thread. Thank you very much for all of the questions that you popped in there today. And if you do want to add some more, please feel free to do so. We'll have them running throughout the tournament as well, but not tomorrow. It is, of course, a break day for the players and for ourselves as well tomorrow. Who is the better carry, Burning or Arteezy? Perfect question for this particular game. Let's go from left to right. Fogged.
Isn't that the left? Oh, I'm the left now.
Well, left
stage left, stage right.
Yeah,
I mean, I personally don't really like that kind of question. Like, who's the better carry? No,
I don't care. Answer it.
All right, no, Jesus, you're so like attacking on me right now. No, I think it's. I guess like what would you define as like straight up carry? Like, I guess Arteezy. They've both been playing like super late game carries now in a way too, like coming into this tournament. So I feel like it's kind of hard to put that on.
All right, who's the better player?
Better carry, who's been around longer? You know what, I would probably go with Burning. You know what, honestly, better carry player, yeah.
Okay.
RTZ played it. I think that RTZ, I don't even know how you would answer this one. I would go with Burning just because he's had more experience. That's what I would go for.
Okay, Maui? Burning or RTZ?
I think RTZ has better mechanics. Okay. I think Burning has very good movements on the map. I think some of that's actually from Kyo. It's like what happened with Aggressive at TI5. Kyo was able to lead him there. But honestly, if I don't vote for RTZ, he might hit me in my sleep.
Well, I was worried.
In my city.
Yeah,
all of China is going to get really upset with you as soon as you go with RTZ.
I mean, I was about to say, we're all from Vancouver. We got to support each other a little bit. You know,
Canadian pride.
See, exactly. That's what it is. Exactly. Bias again.
Yeah, you all met at a dog sled meet or something, didn't you?
No, I was joking earlier that all Canadians, we had a dog sledding class.
As I was riding my polar bear home, I saw Conrad on the side of the road begging.
Oh, that's amazing.
I picked him up and we became friends.
That's fantastic, because I heard RTZ met you at Mountie training as well.
Yeah.
That's
standard
brilliant.
stuff.
Standard stuff.
Standard Canadian
life.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I think RTZ he's so young and there's so much more future out of him. To me, I think the potential is more important. I think Burning is obviously, like I said, a legendary player, and they both clearly fit well with their teams. Yeah. But like I said, gotta support the local boy.
Is he? Do you think his stars faded a little bit over the last 18 months? Maybe he's not the prodigal son that he once was, and we're still waiting for him to have that big tournament, win a championship.
No, I think he might have been overhyped a little bit. I think there was a time.
Would you say he's a
good
little
player.
bit overrated?
A little bit overrated, in my opinion.
No. I mean, the biggest thing for me is like he was super hyped and he was talked about and he did deliver. I think he clearly became one of the best and really changed even the way we looked at Dota at some points in the meta. But he's come back and he's become more of a team player. I think we're seeing him way more involved with EG and playing with EG and working with EG.
But I think you could say the same about Burning. Burning used to be this very independent carry player to be playing the anti-mages is very like kind of about himself. But now this new Burning that we've been seeing is very aggressive, going around with his teammates. That's teach the old dog new tricks. Burning's been doing it, so I feel like he's been adapting onto it.
Only 28.
In esports years?
In esports?
That's ancient esports years.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
So what does that make you?
107.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, it's all good though. I'm fine. I mean, it's only MMR, right? And I've got more MMR than all of you.
No, and one of the other things I want to touch on is that you speak about how Burning is old and is teaching these guys new stuff. We have Fear and Universe coming with this really really young EG squad, and hopefully being able to teach them new things. And I think actually a lot of these guys bring a lot of new ideas to the meta right now.
It's a very interesting question. I do like these kind of questions because a lot of it is opinion and feel and emotion and loyalty, obviously, with some players. But it's intriguing, I think. I just wonder whether we'll still be having these conversations in 20 years from now, and whether we'll say, these new kids now, they're not as good as those RTZ and Samaels back then. They were brilliant. They can't touch them. It'd be great, wouldn't it? They're the older, future pub questions.
I hope to see Dota be lasting 20 years. I think that's going to be a phenomenal thing. It'll probably be some Dota X number, but maybe I think we'll be seeing some sort of form of this type of game.
Patch 47.03.
There's been 1,200 heroes picked on the first day.
The hero pool has widened somewhat from now, yes. We're going to get into our second draft, of course, very shortly. We're still waiting for that to happen and for the players to get into the lobby and get ready. What are we looking forward to in this second draft? More of the same from EG, I would imagine. Not much point in them going away from the strategy that Critters decided to use against IG, so.
Yeah, more of the same from EG. I'd like to see IG maybe move away from the tree. From Baboka. I think that his other heroes, as far as we've seen, are just much more commanding. At least what I've been seeing, what I take from it is that when he's playing these heroes that can actually do a lot of damage and stuff on the map, not only just moving around and just getting vision, is where he excels too. Like the Air Spirit does decent amount of damage in fights. Ricky as well. He always has Empower when he's playing the Ricky. Monkey King as well. Now when he's playing the tree, this hero does not do damage. He's just kind of running around giving information. He's a lockdown in a way. So I'd like to see him playing something that does more like that.
You don't think a slightly different style would help with the tree?
Maybe if they do go for a different style, but I feel like that's what they're kind of going for when they're picking the Tree Phoenix now multiple times in a row. So I think they should go back to, at least if they want to, unless they want to just keep trying things out, moving on into the main stage, then I think that they should just go back to what was working for them in the past.
Okay, Conrad, how do they approach this IG, this second game? I get the feeling from them that they're sort of going, okay, well, we're trying to experiment and it's not really working very much. Do we want to win this match, and therefore do we go back to what we know works, or do we carry on experimenting and potentially, as Aui's pointed out, learn more from it?
One of the things I noticed in the last game, I thought they drafted something that thought they worked, but EG just drafted better and performed better throughout the lanes. One thing I would like to say, as I agree with Fog completely, is something a little bit different. We've only really seen a couple heroes out of Baboka this tournament, and maybe Q has to start looking at something else, like maybe a roaming Slaughter or one of those other heroes to try and switch up a little bit.
All right, Aui, I'm going to put you in the draft spot right now. You're in the back there with the coach, as the coach of IG. What do you say to them about drafting?
Well, to me, when I look at IG's past 3 games, I think their first loss against Secret actually threw them off a lot. What happened in that game was they actually got out-team fought. And the next 2 games they played, they just picked as much team fight as they possibly could. But in my opinion, that's not IG's style.
Right.
I think what IG's really good at is applying pressure and then collapsing on a lane. They don't really run into people 5v5. They'll find very smart ways. Usually Baboka will find a way to get some vision out, and then they'll take a smart fight based on that vision. These drafts like Medusa, Treant, Phoenix, they can work for IG, but I wouldn't say they're their bread and butter. And I want to see more of that.
Yeah.
But I want to see more of the smart pressure plays and more fighting around vision.
I mean, we don't know. Do you think maybe it's just they go, well, let's see if we can beat them the way they play. Let's test their style and see if we can match their style. Or do you think this is a genuine, they were thrown off in that first game and it's kind of moved them away from their core? And do they need to get back to that to start winning again?
I honestly feel like after being dominant for so long, they're dominant before DAC in China, they dominated DAC, they were owning the first day of this event. I think that loss threw them off a bit, personally. I think that's the first time they've lost a series, right? A long time.
No, they think they lost.
Because they lost one at DAC.
They lost to VG Gaming recently.
Really?
And DPL or
H Cup, one of the two.
H Cup. I can't remember which one of them.
First loss on land.
But technically they lost to OG in a series, but it was a best of 1.
Not a series to me, but
multiple games.
He's defining his own rules now.
Right, I'm just making up stuff out to back my point. But I truly do believe that when you're so dominant in multiple tournaments and you get a tough loss to a team that you didn't know much about in Secret, you'll look at that loss and maybe you'll overanalyze it a bit.
Right,
that's true.
To answer your original question, as a coach, I tell them, go back to what you know.
Right.
And we talk about how they can learn from these games, but you want to learn while playing your best stuff a lot of the times because you're going to adapt it over the next day.
Right.
You don't want to just do some throwaway strat to learn. You need to have a solid thing that you can take away from.
Yeah. Now, it's a good point as well, isn't it? Because we also talked about momentum and confidence and heading in with a day in between as well. You don't want to go in with your head bowed down, do you? And then come out in the round of 16 feeling a bit sorry for yourself. Well, we lost our last 2 series. We're not playing very well. Having to worry about all that stuff and then having to worry about what's changed in the meta, who's been saving strats, what heroes are really good now, what have we missed, what have we not. It sort of adds to the level of confusion and chaos that you end up with heading into a round of 16 match. You don't want that, do you?
No, you don't want to go to sleep on that, wake up big, man, we lost.
Yeah.
We keep continuing, like, man, we actually dropped those somehow. But yeah, I think like all of us were kind of like in unison. I feel like go back to the style that they had, their comfort, just so they can come out with this one and practice at their best. Like you said, they want to practice with their best heroes and play their best rather than just completely going for like newer experience.
Okay. I've not heard anything in terms of draft. It has been a little while, so hopefully we'll get an update as to where the draft is right now. Can we take another social media question? No, we can't, because the draft is ready. Look at that. As if by magic, the draft begins. What do you know?
It's the Furion ban. Yeah, EG's been playing it consistently today, so not too surprising to see that one banned out. Newbie tried to do this earlier versus them too, so they did the, Furion Wisp ban, so that could be what IG has to do. But no, they actually leave the Wisp this time. EG's going to take it right away.
Takes it.
Yeah.
I mean,
no hesitation.
And one of the key things is they're banning out that Baboka Riki. I really feel that hero is a must ban against IG right now. And he's been doing tons of damage with it, and we're seeing it being really strong in other games as well, through other heroes. Other players, sorry.
Just the thing about EG's Wisp, EG's a team that traditionally has been very farm heavy. When they play with this Wisp, it's very scary because you feel like they're out farming you, but you can't do anything because this Wisp restricts your movement so much. You don't know where he's going to relocate someone else in. You don't know where he's going to save that person. And they're just incredibly good at using this global pressure in order to secure more farm and take the game into the later stages.
I guess if IG want to learn how EG play with the Wisp, they're about to find out. And that's good news either way, I guess, win or lose. They're also kind of going back to what they're used to with the mag and the jug. So I guess Ellie's coaching advice worked.
Yeah.
They listened.
They heard me.
They did.
With my... What did Synderen call it?
Invisible sound.
Invisible sound.
Yeah.
Got him.
Yeah.
Spirit
Breaker.
Not the most successful of heroes, it has to be said. I think it's been played 3 times here and lost all 3.
He's very good with Wisp, though. What you want with Wisp is someone who sort of goes in and creates chaos. Spirit Breaker creates a lot of chaos. He'll give you vision. He's a support that gives you something through BKB versus Juggernaut that you can relocate on and just kill him solely off this support hero charging him.
Yeah, and one of the big things that IG gets those comfort picks, Magnus, Jug. We've seen how strong it is. We've seen it in Burning's hands. We've seen XXS play that Magnus. It's going to be very interesting because I feel like that's a very, very strong combination here.
These guys are rattling through. I mean, over 2 minutes reserve time, and we are in second phase bans right now. There have been 5 bans and 4 picks.
That means they know what they're picking. It's going according to plan.
Yeah.
I like the Axe ban. I was a bit surprised EG actually didn't take it in their first 2. Very good with Magnus. When you call someone with Blade Mail, they're empowered, they die. When you call Juggernaut, he dies. So, generally feels pretty good there.
And the ban for EG.
Ember Spirit's a hero that's sort of, he's hard to charge. He has 3 ways of breaking your charge and sort of a pseudo stun to stop the Spirit Breaker. Very good at Wisp, has a lot of high magical bursts. He's a mobile hero that can get on top of the Wisp. It's a good ban.
You think EG will let the Lina through?
I think they could ban it.
To be honest, I think they can play against Alina in the sim.
Yeah.
I think
with the Spirit Breaker Wisp?
Yeah, I think the Wisp will give your mid enough sustainability to turn around Alina gank, and Spirit Breaker makes that hero look very vulnerable at a lot of stages of the game. It wouldn't be a bad ban by any means. It definitely is a comfort lineup. Like, I don't know how many times IG have run Magnus, Juggernaut, Lina.
Yeah.
But it is a lot.
It is a lot.
And I'm going to say all of those were wins. So
don't have it in front of me, but I'm fairly sure most of them, if not all of them, were wins.
Yeah.
It seems like that anyway, doesn't it? It does look like that.
It does look like it's going down for a while.
Yeah, folks scrolling down the page where the 3 have been picked, and it basically is a winning page.
EG revealed a lot though with those 2, right? Because they revealed their 2 supports. Or do you think the Spirit Breaker could go maybe offlane? We haven't seen that in a long time.
Spirit Breaker, I don't know about that. But,
yeah.
You know, it does leave the option open. You know, as a drafter, I think you have to think about these crazy scenarios, and maybe you haven't seen this, and who knows? Maybe EG is willing to make that risk and try and work something around that. They have a strat that in case something gets out, they can pull out that Spirit Breaker as an offlane.
Yeah, they ban out the Lina.
So they do ban out the Lina. They obviously check that page out that Fogged was on.
You do reveal quite a bit by showing your first 2 supports, but to be honest, when you pick a Wisp, I don't think you're showing as much. It's not like the Wisp is going to have the same type of... It's about like how your supports move out on the map. So if you pick Wisp, no matter what the other hero is, generally your supports are going to move in a similar sort of way. So by picking the second support, I don't think you're showing as much as, say, picking... what's on our double support combo this pick? Say last game they picked Windrunner Rubik, and the other team knew those were the supports. They'll be able to say, hey, if we pick something like an Ogre, we're uncontested on the map. Once you see Wisp, you can already say, I'm Ogre. It'll be hard to contest you on the map.
I think IG might grab Monkey King here.
Okay, they're rattling through these again.
Still left there.
A CM for IG and an Invoker, early Invoker again for EG. Not quite as early as round 1 this time though.
Yeah, there's a Monkey King and an Earth Spirit, so Baboka does have his choice of hero this game.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think, although, as Lo mentioned, Earth Spirit has looked a lot less formidable than he has in the past, and Monkey King does have that very weak win rate.
Still effective in certain lineups.
To be honest, I don't think that win rate applies to Baboka.
I don't think so either, to be honest with you. And with Empower and with Crystal Maiden, you're already like amplifying him in a massive manner.
I would like to see a support who can stop that charge though. I think what Spirit Breaker excels at is when he can get into the middle fight, as I said, cause chaos, cast his ultimate. What he's very weak against is if he can't charge in. For example, in the past, if you played Spirit Breaker against Pit Lord, he would throw it on his pit, you couldn't charge in there, you would feel very bad.
Yeah. I think it gives IG a lot more like team fight too. Now they have this mag, they have the Monkey King team fight. And when EG already has like Wisp, Spirit Breaker, you know that they don't really have that great a team fight. They do take the Invoker, which gives them that, but that takes time to progress.
There is an element here of both teams feeling each other out in terms of, well, go on then. We'll give you your favoured heroes lineup and do your best against us. And it feels a little bit like EG have kind of gone, all right then, play us using your Monkey King or your Spirit or whatever you want, Baboka, and we'll see if we can beat you with it.
Yeah, I like it from EG. If anyone wants to name the best Monkey King, it'll always be Baboka.
Yeah.
So you get to see whether this hero, how good this hero really is. Low win rate, but maybe he's still good. Maybe people are figuring out new ways to run him.
We also get to see an RTZ Clinks.
Yeah, more kind of like split pressure in a way, not wanting to take head-on fights.
Something that I always like to look at is pub win rates for heroes at the higher skill brackets. It tells you a surprising amount about the hero matchups, and I believe Clinks is like 3rd against Juggernaut on the best heroes. He's high physical that can kill him through the spin. It's really hard to Omni Slash a Clinks because he's just so tanky. And he's also very high up there against Monkey King. Monkey King is a bit susceptible to just being bursted down through physical. Top against him is PA because you can just dagger and jump him. You have minus armor. Monkey King has very low armor now. So I like the Clink spec.
Gives you objective taker as well.
The one thing I am concerned about with EG though is they have a Wisp, a Spearbreaker, and a Clinks. 3 heroes that aren't necessarily known for their team fighting. Evoker's alright. To be honest, Clinks is alright, but there's nothing like a Magnus or something that will secure their team fight. I think they need to look for that in Universe's hero.
That was the one thing I noticed is that, yeah, they're looking for these pickoffs, and they're going to try and focus on that.
There is Enigma.
Enigma. I think Enigma could be interesting.
I think
They've banned the Void, so...
Farms?
Storm's gone as far as EG are concerned in terms of the ban. They've banned out the Storm.
You don't feel like Enigma's a bit greedy? I feel like they need a lot on their Clinks Invoker, and Enigma needs a bit too.
It is greedy. I think the last time EG ran Clinks, they had that problem, right? Like RTZ sort of fell behind the farm because he just had to run around and make space, and the other 2 cores were taking everything.
Right. Maybe that's kind of the approach that they want to take, but...
I'm just not sure. I do know that if they do not pick team fight, they will never be able to take IG in a straight fight.
Yeah.
So while EG might be comfortable playing this very split push style, very pickoff style, and they do have the heroes to do that. There's the Sunstrike, the Spearbreaker, the Relocate. I'm not too sure if that's what they want to do. When I see EG, I see them as farming a lot. I see them getting these pickoffs, but I see it all sort of combining into some good team fight with the advantage. And that's when I think EG is playing the strongest.
OP's got a little bit of an issue in that he's had well, 3 banned out. Yeah, the last 3 have been banned out.
And they go for the beast. So even this is like full pickoff team. Like they do not want to take a head-on 5-on-5 fight. They want to split up the map, get as much information as possible, and get those pickoffs with Sunstrike and Spiritbreaker.
They're very committed to what they're going to do.
Yeah.
I do like also the Beastmaster gives them that vision to really search out and look for these pickoffs.
For the Monkey King too.
Yeah,
you can hunt the Monkey King pretty well with the Hawk and with Axis to cut the tree.
I mean, there's one thing to be said. In this meta, I don't prefer these type of lineups. I just go for pickoffs and split push, but Wisp is the one hero that can change how styles work in Dota. He's a very unique hero in that sense.
Where do we go then for IG? We've got top 2 of OP's heroes have been banned out.
Did VP run a similar lineup where they played the PA, I believe, and the Juggernaut and just blew everybody up and just trying to run them over?
Yeah, that was against some Morph.
Yeah,
that was against some Morph. I was thinking that IG might go for their Tinker. I think that might be why EG also picked the Beastmaster to kind of dissuade them from going for that, because it's one of OP's best heroes. And now, so he goes for the TA instead. So more physical.
I really like that.
Very good lane. I love this pick. I really like IG's draft.
I think this is going to be a very hard game to play Wisp.
This feels a very meta draft this time round from IG. Much more around the way that they would normally play.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Okay, let's start with our predictions. Conrad, we'll start with you.
I don't know. I really like IG's lineup. They got those comfort picks. They got all the things are taken care of. Team fight. A little bit of push. I think that they're definitely my go-to on this one.
Okay, IG for Conrad. Howie.
I'll also pick IG. I like EG as a team, but I think the ease of execution on IG side is so much better.
More suited to them.
It's like you read my mind and you know exactly the words I'm going to say. I was literally going to say
that's what I do. I just steal your ideas and take them.
Fogged, can you tell us, how are you going to predict this game to go?
I mean, they already wrote it.
Oh. So you're so predictable. Even production have managed to put that in as a prediction now. 3 out of 3 as far as IG are concerned. And we will, of course, come back with some more from our analysts after this game. Is it going to be a 2-0 for EG, or can IG draw level at 1-1? Let's find out as we head back to our commentary team for game number 2.
that NA bias panel now Juggernaut Magnus.
It's because you called them out.
Yeah, it's definitely that. Like, it's overcompensation.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Terrible, guys. They're probably going to be right, though. This draft looks so much more stable for Invictus Gaming. The lineup's good. We saw what the Templar Assassin was able to do up against Anna's Invoker. And he's done the same thing again with the early Sideblade build-up on OP. So it looks like the laning phase should be a hell of a lot better for Invictus Gaming this time around.
Yeah, this is kind of back to the roots. Best way of explaining it. Bo3 is on a roaming hero that this time, we talked about it post-game. Obviously, the viewers didn't hear that, but when it comes to Treant, I think one of the hero's weaknesses is his inability to pressure mid. And Bo3 might feel a bit limited in the game with what he can really do. Monkey King is, I would say, has more play potential in the mid lane than Treant does. Obviously, they both kind of need trees, but Monkey King has a better jumping range just by utilizing the trees. He has an actual range stun, so he can combine with his other support way better. In addition to that, they got their Magnus again.
Watch the monkey.
Yep.
He's jumping in. They're trying to contest the rune. Q's moving up. He's got Frostbite available, so they're going to keep him off the rune. Burning will snake it. Now, do they want to stick around and try and fight this? Frostbite, Im to spin. This is almost classic Scorne style with Frostbite and spin.
This is actually interesting that they're going for this dodge. So I don't know this Magnus versus Beastmaster matchup that well in terms of who's the favorite here.
I suppose if the Shockwave's able to kill off the boars, then you've got a better chance. But if not,
really be enough on every. I think on every level of boar, they have enough health to match the corresponding Shockwave. They easily do. So it's not that simple for Mag. However, he can. I think that's going to be pretty even overall. So it's more. Whenever I see an aggro trial versus a safe lane trial, this is the lane to watch. Like, there's so much at stake in this lane because of how many heroes are affected by what happens. I do want to quickly mention before we really get into this game as well that EG are opting for a similar style to what we talked about in Game 1. It's way more split push oriented, it's way more pick off oriented rather than this hardcore team fight. And IG again are settling for the team fight this time. This time they have the Magnus as their team fighter instead of the Treant Phoenix. And they have the Monkey King, who is the support with exceptional teamfight capabilities. So, very interesting to see.
I love watching this positional battle between OP and Sumail. They're both kind of going ham at each other, and OP, like, he's only now just really got his refraction to play against Sumail. But, okay, Crit frostbitten up on the top lane. Maybe this is now worth it for Crit to start tethering through the tree lines and getting rid of it. Because Bo3's having himself a good time, and the sentry ward that was planted down is just out of range of the obs ward on the top lane.
That ward is very important. When you play aggro tri-lanes like this, any sort of information in the jungle lets you know what you can get away with. If you can go for an aggressive play, if you can get a pull-off, if you can contest a rune, or if you can even rotate away entirely. Monkey King, if he knows that the supports are stuck top, especially if they don't have TPs, he can go and look for a play mid with a Smoke of Deceit, or he can even TP to a safe lane if he sees a play there. But overall, for now, I think the safe lane of EG is going very well.
If he hit that second side blade, I would have been a little bit more questioning of Invoker's life. And you're seeing Bo3 move right over the top of a Dire Observer Ward. He's doing it. But we were begging for this in between Game 1, Game 2. Bo3, the ability to move around, harass, and actually have an influence on the mid lane.
Double damage could get interesting here. I don't think Crit has any idea what's happening right now. He's going for a pull, and sure, there's no Jingo Mastery or Boundless right now, but he hits really hard right now.
He cut the tree line. The tether will have to come in from Crit to try and protect up Zai, who's going to stay on the cliffside, but it's Crit who takes the damage. The charge forward from Zai will create space, but Crystal Nova, most powerful ability in the game, will help get the first blood. Zai's dropping down low too, but burning the damage from the creep wave, not to mention Arteezy sitting on the back lines, is able to bring him down, so Burning will lose his life for two of the supports of EG.
I think it caught EG off guard, this Crystal Nova, because of how unusual it is nowadays to skill CM like this. He went 1-1-0 build, saw the opportunity to go for the kill, and you definitely, in this situation, you skill the Crystal Nova and get that first blood. He will need to retreat to the shrine or even the base now. Looks like he's going to shrine with Bo3 and find his level 3 in the jungle more than likely. They want this aura available to contest this lane. So they get a couple key kills, and they know they're doing well in the mid and their safe lane. But this top lane, it seems to me that most aggressive tri-lanes right now get out-farmed a bit. It just seems difficult to put the necessary pressure, and it's because EG have access to the easy pull, mainly.
Well, top lane, the pressure's coming in. Q still got the Frostbite available. Arteezy's trying to get back to the tower. The tether will come in. So will the charge from Zai, but Arteezy's already down, so the fight not really worth it for EG. Now they've lost their core.
You see the intention of IG with their skill build. Burning going for
OP.
the... Oh.
He doesn't miss uphill. One more attack will do it.
This is... I gotta say, this is pretty damn rare, I think, that Sumail gets solo killed. It doesn't seem to happen very often anymore in general in mid, but especially Sumail, to me, almost always seems to be on the other end of that exchange.
I think a lot of the credit also
really
has to go to OP's positioning.
It is a TA favorite matchup, so it's difficult for Invoker, and both of these players
Top
are
lane.
exceptionally good. So
Sunstride's going to connect on Q with the searing arrows from Arteezy. He has the damage, starts his spin to get back to the tower. Bo3 creates just a little bit of space with that Boundless Strike, and Burning, no point up in healing ward. He'll have to salve up to get back to the front line.
I was going to point that out. The aggression of IG, that what they want to accomplish with this lane is really showing in Juggernaut's skill build. Almost every time we see Juggernaut, he will skill that value point in healing ward for the sustain, but they want the extra damage to try to go for the kills in the lane. He realizes how much that crit can change the fight for him. But, so we were mentioning before, they're falling behind in this lane. Burning's level 3.5 and Arteezy level 4.5. And when Arteezy hits level 6, this lane to me is over. I don't think IG can kill him anymore. The Death Pact is going to do way too much, both in terms of damage and health.
But is the trade-off the fact that XXS is still getting a lot of space on bottom lane? Like, he found the solution to that lane, just never back up from a Beastmaster board. Stand your ground, let the Empower do the work. It may only be level 1, so the push isn't too much, but he's able to get on top of this and force Universe to start just farming on the side lane. So you can move to the top lane, give the Empower, and Burning starts to play catch-up. Yeah,
that's one way to do it. I'm a bit surprised. I didn't think this matchup was this one-sided. Perhaps Universe made a mistake, or XXS played it very well. Magnus generally does well against melee heroes, like you said, because of the Empower, but I thought Beastmaster had the sustain and the abilities to deal with it. He didn't even Shrine yet until now, so he is back in the lane, but looking very good for XXS, of course.
XXS tries to battle the regen wall with him by picking up the bottle early on. Charge top lane. Oh, Monkey King. The bash is there from Zai with the spin. Arteezy's not a healthy man. Running down. He's just got enough distance. 42 HP. Burning. Zai gets another bash. Burning into the tree line. He can't cut. The Frostbite will do the damage. So Q will get that kill, but they lose their entire tri lane to do this. Not when Bo3 comes back to the front line looking for a kill on Crypt. But don't worry. Zai's got bashes for days.
He's going to get his boots now. That's a really big change for Spirit Breaker, getting that first movement speed item up. More damage.
While that happened, we were actually praising XXS. He died on the bottom lane. Universe to bring him down, so...
Probably was the Sunstrike involved in that kill, I would imagine. And that basically means that the CS advantage of Magnus doesn't really do anything anymore. Universe is overtaking this lane. He has the highest net worth in the game now. He's level 7.5. Mag sitting at 6.5, so this one kill just turned around the lane completely. And EG, I would say, are in a pretty good position. The only lane they've lost at this point is the mid lane for Invoker. And they can probably catch up with that, especially when Arteezy starts moving around, and just the kill threat is going to be scary for IG to deal with. Juggernaut is so far back. He really needs to get some levels here.
Q and Bo3 trying to create a little bit more space up on top lane. OP is able to dodge the charge in, and that does reveal the fact that Arteezy should be alone. With the Observer and Sentry, IG know exactly where they want to attack, but they need the Frostbite from Q to really connect. Without that, they don't hold Arteezy in position.
That's a good word. And they'd even let them charge Q here. So, probably going to be cancelled. Yep. Turning around. And I imagine things will be a little bit quiet now from the IG side. They need to secure their levels at this point. This top lane aggression is kind of over at this point. Clinks will find his level 6 soon. Bo3 will look to go and find his 6. They will need this Wukong's command at some point at least. And now that OP is level 7 on the Templar Assassin, it opens up for this mid lane to be farmed by someone else. Just overall increase the efficiency of your lineup. Let her jungle, farm some Ancients.
Charge comes forward. Zai making the most out of that Observer ward. Q is in the neighborhood. He's just trying to get to crit, but crit's too far away.
Actually, Burning has caught up with the Clinks in levels. That's interesting. A moment ago, it felt like Arteezy was far ahead. Well, there is a big wave coming into him, so he will get level 6 here if they let him solo. Looks like that is indeed the plan for EG. And more than likely, we're going to see him run into his own jungle, Death Pact a big creep, and then either look to TP bottom and kill the Mag together with a Roar, or he'll return to top to farm or get a pick here. They realize there's a ward now. Q is going to remove that very nicely. But still fairly quiet overall for IG in this lane. I don't think this is what they expected. I think they were hoping for better results in this lane than what they ended up getting.
Yeah, I agree. Because if they had that, then Bo3 could have started his rotation a little bit faster, moved and actually influenced the mid lane. Again, now we see this little bit of a battle with Sumail. Sumail's not in the same timing as before, just because he has to expend more money, getting things like the wand. So we're not going to see that 9-minute Hand of Midas he had in Game 1.
XXS is pretty dead if he doesn't TP right now. I think they can just dive
unless he's good enough with the RP. There's your charge 4, 3 heroes together. The Sunstrike's right in the money. Magnus copping a lot of damage. Oh, he tried to go for the RP. The stun from Bo3 doesn't do enough work, but Burning is able to get the spin kill off, and this will actually strand Zai. He's got charge off cooldown now, but it's not fast enough. OPL hit the Meld Strike.
That could have been even worse for EG. If the RP goes off, they get the 3rd kill as well. Beastmaster will definitely die to the Juggernaut there, as well as the rotating TA. So EG kind of got away with murder. It was very clear they were going to get that kill, but IG were ready for it, pounced on it, and effectively by doing this, they've now put Burning in the safe lane. So you'll get some catch-up time. Probably going to empower him fairly soon and let him farm his own jungle. Obviously, that is more or less a bit reserved for TA. And I guess that's the good news for IG in terms of their lineup. They don't need a super farmed Juggernaut to make this work.
Yep.
If Magnus is this rich, he can kind of become a semi-carry himself, or even a hard carry if he gets rich enough, and they have a TA. And TA is doing well.
And it's a much needed space for the supports. Everyone's going to get their level 6s pretty quickly, even Q's just taking the side camps.
I really like these wards from EG in the top area. It clearly shows what their next move is. They have warded for the occasion. They want to push this top tier 1 tower with the Clinks with Death Pact. They want to have as much information as possible.
Crit's going to tether over as well. Sunstrike, perfect positioning. Once again, we expected nothing else from Sumail. XXS, there's going to be the jump forward. He can RP, but he'll only grab Zai, but Zai will be enough for him. With OP's TP in, gives enough damage to help Magnus get the kill.
You're happy with that if you're EG, I think. Trade support for support. You force a rotation TP with RP. Gives more safety around the map. And this safe lane for Burning is not easy. I want to point out, he's level 7 Juggernaut against a level 11 Beastmaster, who has Vladimir. So this is not an easy lane. He can actually bully him so hard that he's going to need help just by running these 2 boars in, and the threat of the Roar. He can kill Burning alone here with a Sunstrike, probably. He's going to go for it. The charge is also coming. Pretty far away. Oh, he's low.
The boar does the damage.
This is not fair. Most matchups are not fair when one guy is 4 levels above the other at 11 minutes. Now he's 5 levels above him, by the way.
Friends are coming down. Smoke maneuver from Q and OP. They're going to try and find their target. They'll probably notice that creep camp is gone. In fact, it's coming back down the hill, so it got pulled up. Bo3 up on the trees, jumping down. Universe trying to fight him up. The stun will connect on the Beastmaster. In comes OP. Bo3's probably going to die for this one. They line themselves up. The freezing field from Q makes it impossible for EG just to walk away. So Q and OP will find the kills. Actually, Q who got the big one on Universe. And there was nothing that Crit could really do to help him.
Nice rotation from IG. They managed to protect their tower. I thought that one was gone for sure with Universe and Zai being down there. Beastmaster pushes fast, so you don't have much time to make these decisions. So it needs to go very swift, and IG confidently manages to get down there. It does, however, custom the top tower. So EG's game plan of keeping the pressure up on all lanes is definitely working out right now. Getting that safe lane tower. Sure, it gets denied, but still great for them. Sumail is farming and pushing out mid. He's top leader, top CSer right now. And this bottom tower, it will fall pretty soon. They just need one good gank bottom and it's done.
Yeah, and it looks like IG is moving away from him. Like they're grouping up around their Ancients. Of course, that's right next to the Dire Observe Ward. Arteezy will move up. He sees Burning. Q. Sentry Ward is there and he throws one down. Caught a glimpse of Arteezy. But it's the Courier sitting on the hillside, which is revealing the Observer Ward. Someone messed with it, but they do bring down the Obs. So EG are going in deeper. They put a fresh Obs on top of the Radiant Shrine inside the Radiant Jungle. And then keep going. They want to kill, and they're going to find OP. Dust is up. He's trying to hide inside the Meld. That won't work. And no Refraction charges because he went for the Meld. Now Refraction is up. A little bit of extra life. The charge forward pushing back the Magnus, so he couldn't get the quick RP off. That would have caught 3. Instead, now he'll catch 1. Just the IO. Again, the freezing field from Q will push EG further into the Radiant Jungle.
Crucial that he gets knocked back there for EG. IO will, however, die again, so still no relocate online, but it won't be long before he has that. And at the same time, Bo3 is also level 5. Do want to point out, this Crystal Maiden went for an Urn. I love this item choice. I think in general it's good on Maiden, but in addition to that, they're playing against an IO, and you just want to, if possible, have damage over time effects on IO all the time, so it can't bottle heal the teammates.
Arteezy.
Well, Urn doesn't help against that.
They lose both Q as well as Bo3.
This could even be a Roshan attempt for EG if they feel confident enough. They're 5 on 3 for a little bit. It is not the biggest window, but they know Bo3's level 5.
Yeah,
Instead, they're going to go for bottom tower.
There may not be enough mana on Arteezy to really do it. It's
Zai scouted. Yep, Roshan is alive. I don't know what he was doing in there. It just ran in and got tanked it a little bit.
Just a friendly neighborhood greeting.
I suppose so.
But again, EG, like their warding has changed up. Like we talked about the warding getting de-warded around Roshan. But now because that observe ward near the shrine, it allows Zai just to charge himself forward. The relocate's on the way in as well. It brings Sumail with it, but OP, well, you gotta love Refraction. He's able to just blink himself away to safety.
Speaking of OP.
It's balance, man.
Refraction is pretty crazy sometimes.
Easy.
Actually, how doesn't... Wait, how did he get his blink off?
Refraction was up when Zai charged in.
Zai has an Orb of Venom, so he didn't get an attack off in between his charge and the ult, I think. Because the Orb of Venom should cancel his blink. It deals so little damage that it doesn't break Refraction, so it actually pierces it. So if he gets an attack off, I don't think OP can blink there. And that's a really big difference. That ended up costing them a kill and a tower, actually. If that was the case. I believe it was.
We can check the replay and report on it back later.
Write a report on it.
Yeah. Get Officer Malini. Burning's coming down the bottom lane just to try and defend this push. And
so now we do have the Wukong's command online for Bo3. That is a game changer, of course. A lot more teamfight potential. And at the end of the day, right now it more comes down to the Magnus than anything else. And EG have been able to do a pretty good job avoiding big RPs. And they have to do it. It's not just that the RP is good, but I really like the synergy between Magnus and Crystal Maiden for the reason that it allows Crystal Maiden to cast the freezing field in a really safe position. You stand far behind the fight and start it, and they get skewered into the field. We've seen that played in multiple games with great effect. And that means they actually have kill potential even without one of their cores or without the Monkey King there. This just that combination deals so ridiculously much damage that you can win fights where you're outnumbered.
And they're actually forcing it quickly. So you've got all these things up. You want EG to come and fight you. EG are taking the moment to kill off Roshan. He's down to 1/3 of his life. TP support's coming over for now. And, well, they've got to move quickly. Roshan's almost gone. Zai gets hit by the meld, so he'll end up falling. Roshan still is in the hands of EG. But what's the cost? Zai! He charged away just as XXS was trying to skewer him back into the Invictus Gaming lineup, but they might find the bigger one. The Invoker, Sumail Tornado will buy a little bit of space, but his Aegis Immortal will still trigger. Arteezy's waiting. There's a Sentry Ward nearby, but Bo3, he pulls up the Wukong command, combining it up with Omni Slash. Sumail will die twice. So Roshan was nice to have, but the advantage is only golden experience now, and even that gets offset by the win of IG.
I'm not completely sure who really benefits the most from this. I mean, the kills go their way, they trade it off for Roshan, but I think it's important for EG that this Aegis doesn't go the way of IG, who could have definitely contested it themselves with this Templar Assassin almost having the Desolator. And they end up trading, what was it, Io and the Invoker only for it. And
but
Io is not that
Invoker's hand a minus off cooldown.
Yeah, alright.
That's it.
Big win for IG.
Yep.
But yeah, this fight just shows that EG can't deal with the team fights right now. Like, they tried to go for the Roche hoping they could sneak it because of the push bottom from IG. They weren't fast enough. The moment this Monkey King Wukong command comes out, the fight is just over. They can't get into it with their heroes.
It's funny that that's
RP
the big
wasn't even
thing. Like, it wasn't used because Zai was never able to tether down. Like when he tethered, he got caught on top of the cliffside, and that just allowed that TA just to go ham on him. So you didn't have that extra sustain. But you do have this. Like Arteezy's just taking the tier 2 tower, and there is no effect of IG down here. So Arteezy is fine.
This gets a bit dangerous now for EG, I think, because IG have reached a point now where they can start grouping up and just take these towers, and I don't know if EG can deal with it. So they need to play the fairly difficult split push game right now where no fight breaks out whatsoever. If they get a key pick, they buy themselves 2 minutes, basically. But if they don't find any picks, they could lose the remaining tier 2 towers. And IG are finding some key items now. The Manta Star is coming out on the Juggernaut. It's going to be very nice at just confusing the Clinks, dealing with Invoker spells, such as removing Cold Snap or getting out of Ice Wall. If you're good, evading EMP. I don't know if that's even anything special anymore. Spell dodging with Manta seems like something you see every day nowadays.
I don't worry, I'll still get #1 on Reddit. Got to get that good karma.
Only gets #1 on Reddit if it's Arteezy doing it. You need to keep that in mind. It has to be him.
That's why the only Magnus place to ever appear is Arise.
Will someone else?
It's like, where's all the highlight clips of XXS? Obviously not. It's only ever Arise that plays a Magnus.
Oh, they don't look as flashy.
There's no one called S with a 4.
Yep. It's Arise gets the style points though.
He does.
Makes them unnecessarily complicated sometimes. Looks cool. Maybe it wasn't necessary to go for that like blink force
it's the ability to get a
RP when you can just RP.
Ability to get a 5-man RP with the Do-Si-Do.
Yep.
Alright, so fight time. Invictus Gaming want to force it. EG will smoke up and just move in from the west. Observe Ward down for Q. So they will see from the side, but they don't have that vision list. Someone stays close enough and they smoke themselves. They were right on top of the EG vision, so they know. EG are fully aware, but this may just end up being two teams walking into each other.
IO is not visible. It is under smoke. It's a bit hard to see sometimes, and he's also invisible. So he's like very invisible.
Don't worry, the Arcana will make this very visible in the future, right?
Absolutely. This is a very important moment. If EG lose a team fight on their side of the map right now, they lose a lane of racks. If they don't have buybacks. And, well, it looks like Invoker may have one, so at least he has some pretty good defensive tools, but nobody else on EG. And they're going to play it safe. Might just flat out concede this tower. I don't really know if it's possible to
They're still in a
for.
flanking position, but...
this is dangerous.
Okay, Crit's right underneath the Observe Ward. Q knows exactly where he is. With the sentry down, they Nova, so Q reveals the fact they have vision on the high ground, but all the way around the back, Arteezy, he wants a creep, but there's nothing here for him to munch on.
It's a lane creep. He's not going to reveal his position, though.
He'll have to go in very deep to the Radiant jungle.
They actually defended with this move. That was very nice. They ended up defending their tower by just...
by Arteezy not finding what he wanted?
By just wrapping around them. IG got uncomfortable with the whole position because they don't have the vision in that area.
They're coming in again.
And they're going to get backstabbed. They don't have any sentries left, I think. Only a dust, but they don't have their scan.
Yep.
So, well...
Arteezy reveals in the mid, and they're fully aware now that they have the advantage here.
They got uncomfortable for 10 seconds. It's a win.
They have their own fortification too, so they can slow down this push from Arteezy.
Yep. They're letting him strafe it down, actually. Yep. That's a really late glyph. They could have saved this tower way better than that.
Well, Burning starting his TP. Chris still here, and that TP's not even going to complete before the tower is dead. OP, he arrived, but that ends up just being a straight 2-for-2 trade-off, as in the tier towers.
That's a...
Run
a little bit of a mistake there. It's the same as when you're against Leshrac and you let his Edict go for almost the entire duration and you're like, oh, our tower's being pushed, let's glyph. And then the Edict is over, it's like, oh, you know, could have maybe saved another 500 health on that. So I think EG in this position are pretty happy with that trade, to be honest. They do identify what threats there are. Very cautious with taking the fight, knowing that realistically the longer this game goes, the higher their playstyle has a chance of succeeding. Because the waves are going to be pushing harder, they're going to get these key items that allow them to eventually teamfight, or even better, split push so fast that the teamfights can't break out.
It's funny to hear that when you're still going up against a Magnus. Okay? Going high ground is going to be wonderful with the damage that Clinks will be able to provide, but you still have to be so cautious about the teamfights.
Absolutely. If EG gets to choose what way this game gets played, I think they don't teamfight at all the rest of the game. I don't think they want to. They want to find one key pick into split push, where Arteezy might be on the opposite side of the map pushing the other tower, and IG have to split their forces, and then all of a sudden this RP play doesn't look as threatening anymore. In addition to that, they have really good vision, as was pointed out on the panel. Like, the Clinks can scout, the Roar...
it's on the Juggernaut. The spin's still there, but the damage RP has to be committed here by XXS. They drag Arteezy underneath the tier 3 tower. The Wukong command, he's on the run. The damage output with the Earn Tick. He's down to 11, down to 9, and now 0. So a 1-for-1 trade-off. Make it 2, because Crystal Maiden is currently dying under a meatball. And they retreat.
Carry for carry, no tower damage. And a bit of a bonus there for OG on the killing CM. It's a slight advantage, but they can't really turn it into anything yet. Roshan hasn't spawned. As far as towers go, there's only the top tier 2 that they can even really deal damage to at this point. The wave isn't close enough, but it effectively just converts into some farming time here. I think Universe's job at this point in the game is... This kill on Juggernaut was really swift and clean. If they get into slightly less of an ideal situation, he's probably going to be looking for the Magnus. And if he can blink Roar the Mag, even if he doesn't kill him, if he just takes him out of the fight, like imagine they just isolate each other and force the fight away from them, I think EG's chances of winning the fight are a lot higher Just because if it gets split up, that's the kind of fight Klinks wants to play. It's the kind of fight Invoker wants to play, unless he has a really good teamfight setup, which just doesn't exist for them. And it's probably also the kind of fight that Spirit Breaker wants to play. So
Bo3's hunting around. Yeah. I'm wondering if he noticed that Zai planted the Observer Ward down.
He's going to get spotted by Hawk here. Ping him out. Beastmaster knows exactly where he is right now. He's going to ward. That will be removed immediately. By immediately, I mean
when a sentry ward is able to come to the location.
Ward, they haven't bought one.
There's only the Obs on crit.
Did they not notice? They might not have noticed. Doesn't look like they bought any sentry or gem yet.
Well, would they have actually seen it when he pounced up? Because he was down pretty quickly after.
If they checked his inventory, but they might only have seen him on the minimap and not clicked him to see if he had a ward. So if they get away with this, that's a really, really good ward to have right now for IG, overseeing two of the big creep camps that RTZ might be interested in playing around, and giving them the Roshan vision that they need. They know this Rosh will be spawning within a timely manner. So, OP.
He really wants to just clean up this wave nice and quick. He's got a double damage rune, so confidence is brewing.
That was nice and quick.
Yep. While burning waits on the bottom lane.
Notice, by the way, this TA went for a build that I feel like we don't see as much right now as we did just a few months ago, or even weeks. He went for the Hurricane Pike after the Blink Death. So I think more often we see just the BKB or Dragonlance, or actually sometimes no Dragonlance at all even. But he wants the Pike, and I think the reason is he can get into trouble against these boars where he's immobile, and he needs to have a way to move around the fight, and especially if he can isolate the Klinks. If Klinks is dusted up or whatever, and he can blink on him and then pike him, he gets the range advantage that Arteezy can't fight back in, and isolate him. Similar, if he jumps on the Wisp and pikes him and there's vision in the air, Wisp will die from full health. And taking out that hero early on is a really, really big deal for IG. So I like it. Like the pike here. He's transitioning into a Linken's. Both Linken's and BKB have their merits here. Unfortunately, BKB is actually not that good against Beastmaster or Spirit Breaker, but it's really good against Invoker, whereas Linken's is a lot more underwhelming there. And that's a nice thing about EG's lineup. It's very good when the enemy cores feel like they need that extra item that they just can't afford. It always sucks feeling like, you know, I need Linken's and BKB, but I can't really have both item slots, and if I can, it's like, oh, so much gold I need to farm up. So OP has made his choice, and he's countering out primarily the Beastmaster, and of course the charge of Zai. You get some nice information out of that Linken sometimes. Crimson Guard. Nice. I was asking this yesterday, how that interacts with Monkey King Ultimate, and it just works fully. It just blocks them as if they're a hero. I think this item is really good in this game. Against the Monkey King ult, against Omni Slash. At the same time, though, this TA hits for 350. Good old 350. I'm probably going to kill him. Oh, never mind. I just heard a charge. I got excited.
I think he was looking towards
that range creeps.
I think he was looking towards Bo3 because they were hunting the Hawk of the Beastmaster. But now with a 4-man smoke up, there is a Forge Spirit battling Roshan. You can wait for this Forge Spirit to die. And then they attacked too early.
They didn't wait long enough.
Yeah, the Forge Spirit vision remained, but OP slides in. He actually uses Hurricane Pike to close the distance quickly. But they'll be done.
Too fast.
Like, the Sunstrike's coming in, but EG are well out of position.
Really nice play by IG. I think they knew. I'm pretty sure we were past max respawn time, so they just identified they have this good ward that they placed earlier with Monkey King that never got countered. Have a good read on where EG probably are inside their own jungle with the defensive ward they have as well as their own shrine. And they just see an opportunity to smoke and get a quick snipe here, even though that wasn't perfect.
So now that IG has the Aegis Immortal, it doesn't give EG a free ticket to push high ground.
No, this
actually means EG have to delay up the game even more?
Possibly. It really depends if they can just catch IG off guard. The problem that EG's lineup has that we haven't talked about too much is that they want to play this split push pick-off game, but they actually don't have the best wave clear. It's mainly Invoker that will be pushing out waves. Beastmaster is decent, but the problem is for him to push the waves fast, the boars are not really enough. You need to be there with your hero to do it really effectively with the wild axes. And then you're revealing the position of your ganking hero, apart from obviously Spirit Breaker, but the Linkens are coming out. And that means that finding this, forcing IG to split up is very difficult if you can't get these waves pushed
out. The jump with Diffusal Blade.
Zai.
Zai's gone for 45 seconds.
Yep, they don't know he doesn't have buyback, but they might just go for this. They have Healing Ward, they have an Aegis, they have a better team fight.
You got a double damage on an Aegis the Immortal Juggernaut.
This is actually really scary.
You're going to start pushing this. Now, Burning's taking a hell of a lot of the tower, but thanks to the Healing Ward that's also down, Sentry's in position. There's no way for the Clinks to slip in behind. In fact, Arteezy's just trying to creep skip at the moment. So the Sunstrike will be able to connect. Burning's not too healthy. He's got a quick little bit of a burst heal, but Bo3 actually dropped off the tree line universe, going to cut those trees down. So Bo3 can't play with it, but the damage is being done. The tier 3 tower has gone. One death on a Spirit Breaker. And there's the RP! He only got one skewer, but it may not matter. The relocate! Sumail gets pulled out just in time. He was isolated, meaning the Omni Slash was fully connecting on him. Almost a dream situation where they only wanted the one, but IG still take the melee racks.
That was actually such a sick defensive play by EG, but the damage is already done, like you said. And IG, good choice there. You know, other teams might be like, you know, all right, we didn't get that kill. They relocated out. They're coming back, but we still have Aegis. We still have a lot of other abilities. They just realized, okay, you know what? It's good enough. Let's not take the risk. Wait for our abilities to be ready again. We will have at least another RP still with our Aegis in hand. And if they can force another situation like this in the bottom lane, I see similar problems for EG. Arteezy did snipe the courier, by the way. I'm not sure if we pointed that out. There was a Linken's on it. So TA will have to wait another 2 minutes for that sphere. It's kind of the duration of the Aegis, I think, that remains. So once that Linken's is up, the Aegis on the Juggernaut is gone. Could play a role. We'll see.
Potentially. But you do also now have the Basher over a Monkey King, so Wukong's command just got upgraded.
Yeah.
So good luck avoiding that. Are they actually grouping up to fight, even without having the Linken's?
That item with Monkey King is so filthy. I kind of feel like this should work in a different way.
He's not a dirty monkey, alright?
Why does that work? Well, why? Why do they bash?
It doesn't make any sense. Zai just lost his boar and actually put down an observe. What? He was still under the cover of smoke, so Q would not have seen that unless he fears something else is there. Yeah, they're worried about it. Oh, okay, no, they see it because the Gem of True Sight's on the Magnus.
EG are at least managing to push in the waves nicely here. They got a good push on the top wave now with Clinks and IO. They got the Invoker here. Of course, that's one of the benefits of IO. Even if your heroes don't have the best wave clear, like a hero like Clinks can still go for it, knowing that he can join the fight because of the relocate. But it's still not ideal. But EG have managed to kind of control 2/3 of the map right now while being Rex down. Now the question is, can they set up a fight the moment this Aegis expires? It's about to run out in, what's this, 1 minute? I think, yep.
Yes.
1 minute to go. Yeah, you don't want to fight into this Aegis if you have the choice.
TA Trap makes it fun to see.
Yeah, it's a bit awkward.
Sumail. Issues after you lose any kind of build like the tier 3 or even now your racks, you're going to lose the Shrine. That's a big one too. That's the contesting Shrine for Roshan that EG will no longer be able to use.
Yep. And OP has a lot of influx of value right now. He has a full Chrysalis and the rest of his Linken's coming in. So if you thought he was scary before, he just bumped himself up like a good 4,000 net worth with the Courier coming in right now. And he is dangerous. I think EG, even if they get a good jump at this point on, for example, the Magnus, the TA is so powerful that if Invoker doesn't get to control her, she can kill 2 or 3 heroes.
But isn't that when you look to something else? You look to the Beastmaster. Level 3 Necrobook has got finished up on Universe. Burn off the mana.
It might not be a choice anymore. Maybe he has to control the TA instead of going on the Mag. It just makes... You know, the fights are pretty hard. It's not easy for their lineup to play against Mag. Clinks is a hero who kind of has to really telegraph his positioning to deal damage. He doesn't have that long range. He has to, especially because he didn't go Dragonlance in this game, he has to stand and deliver. And that just buys time for Magnus to see, oops, there's a Clinks. I think if he RPs the Clinks and they kill him, it's good enough. So very, very difficult times for EG ahead of them right now. At least they waited out the Aegis.
It is funny, right? Because you're right. Like if you initiate with the Necrobooks, you burn off Magnus's mana, so he's incapable of actually lending the RP or any kind of crowd control. And then the only other crowd control you have is Bo3's Monkey King, which has
Bash.
That's
pretty damn good.
That is pretty damn good. I'm not going to deny that one. So, like, still, where do you start your target? But then again, you said before, like, you don't fight, right? Like, you look for the pickoff. But Invictus Gaming at the moment is walking around as 5. And the only other way you can counter that is by having Crit and Arteezy hold hands until the ends of time and be dragged in through tether and relocate if an engagement does break out for EG.
I think it's entirely possible that this game just goes quiet for another like few minutes. IG try to keep control of the Roshan area. They want the next Aegis, and then they're going to try to force a high ground fight. EG, on the other hand, they might play into that for a bit, but if they want to have a chance at this Roche fight, they have to find a pick-off before the Roche begins. I don't think they win the fight in the pit. There's just too many factors going against them. TA traps can see them moving in there. Monkey King can be in any tree in the area. Sure, they can have that...
RP. Yep. It is going to be IG who find the pick-off, and it's a big one. It's Arteezy.
70 seconds.
You've still got another 70 seconds before Roshan's even going to spawn up.
I think they're pushing bottom. Maybe. Oh, maybe not.
Okay, the pink line is drawn from IO. I don't know if that's meant to be a we keep the creep wave at this line to the left.
Exactly what it's meant to be. Push in the lanes and corner them if you can. That has to be what he means with this.
Well, Sumail's doing it on top lane. He's actually pretty close to completing up that Octarine core. And if he gets the tier 2 tower as well, which he actually does, he can add pressure to the tier 3 tower. And this is when IG have to question it.
This is actually scary for IG.
Because if Klink Spy's back and you can relocate him in, you can actually turn this into a trade-off. Fortification's already been burnt. The blink away from Sumail, he's still sticking around. BTs are available for him right now, so he can come back if he wants to, but we're in a trade-off position. Fortification from EG comes out, but it's Sumail who takes the first tier 3 tower out of at least this trade-off.
He's currently being faster than the full IG team. Now they overtook him a little bit.
Yeah, now the melee rush is gone.
Trade.
Are you happy with this? I suppose you're getting closer towards Megas if you're Invictus Gaming. That's your advantage.
You know
EG don't have great ways to deal with that.
EG are also getting closer to Megas, Toby. They also got a barracks.
Really?
Yeah, they did. You didn't see it? They got it. It's gone. It's a trade-off. Alright, given the circumstances for EG, that is pretty much the best thing that could have happened. They didn't have to buy back their core, they traded barracks against a team that has better team fight and had a 5-on-4. I don't think that could have gone any better. What you could have maybe considered even relocating top just to make the push faster, like bringing Beastmaster and trying to go for a collateral and getting 2 lanes. And that would have more than likely forced IG back, but they might have been scared that they would get caught in the enemy base, and then all of a sudden they could lose more than just their own barracks. Maybe they could lose, well, more than just that lane, rather. And the Roshan has to be in the back of their minds as well. It won't be long. It's about a minute to go. IG looking for the exact same place before.
Yep.
It's not up, though.
There goes your Sunstrike. Yeah, they have to wait a little bit longer, but the positioning universe walks straight into it. XXS, he gets roared up, but the Omni Slash is bouncing back down, but it's almost soaked up by the entire EG line, but the Wukong command Bobrika's position is absolutely perfect, combining it up with Q, protected by his Ghost Scepter. Finally, Arteezy can kill him off, not to mention Arteezy attacking Burning. He dodges that attack with the Manta style, so Arteezy, OP focus on him. Finally, the Wukong command will wear do you want to defend this? OP's just farming at the moment.
I don't think they can. They're 3-on-4 and they don't have their ultis right now.
They'll let it go.
That was pretty big for EG. There was a buyback coming out of Zai and XXS, but so 1-for-1 buyback trade-off, but it was on a core from IG. They still get the Roshan here, and I want to say this. I've watched a lot of Dota. I think this might be the biggest value I've ever seen out of a Solar Crest defensively. Arteezy dodged like 4 TA attacks in a row, stayed alive, came back in the fight, dodged attacks again, and that Crest kind of just won the fight. If you're OP right now, you're pissed off, and you're just there's the Bloodthorn, you know, like get out of my game. Just like, that's just too much. And the key thing here is that EG get the jump. Like Magnus dying immediately, we said it might not be enough, and it looked bad as well. Like they got this Magnus kill right away, no RP use, but a great Wukong command and freezing field. Made the fight close, and I actually think IG win that if they get just a little bit more lucky on TA. Not going to say you're going to blame it on luck here, but it obviously is a factor when you have this evasion, and EG just played that fight pretty much to the limit. and Sumail, exceptional spell usage. When he came back from the relocate, the Deafening Blast on the TA and the, I think it was Juggernaut and TA.
And it was the save we were waiting for completely. From Crit.
Yeah.
Like not even having to have a offensive relocate, in the fact he actually has the repositioning. And that control. So Invictus Gaming is 19-19. That advantage they have, about 4k gold, gets almost nulled. EG do actually lose out in the experience. And actually starts to move back up in favor of Invictus Gaming. And we've got ourselves a close game. You're still both mid and bottom, not full racks, but racks up for IG. So they are still the ones in control. Sort of. As close as you can get. Sumail, RP, there it goes from XXS. Dragon back in, and Invoker for all his great positioning. We'll lose the Aegis, the Immortal.
Oh,
BT's in. Universe is here. He can blink Raw. Do they have enough time? Here comes the Wukong command. Invoker's down. Crit can't get him out. In fact, he loses his life. Q just lets it go. And the isolation is Arteezy. Both of the big damage cores from EG are gone. And Beastmaster will join him. Or Spirit Breaker will join him in the afterlife. Universe is on the run out of here. This is not what they wanted.
That is confidence from XXS. He went on the guy with the Aegis. Got an immediate skewer before EG could respond. He just felt like he had a chance there. Jumps on it immediately, and what a reward. They got 4 kills plus the Aegis, so actually 5 kills, and they only lost their Monkey King.
And they can force buyback. They get it out of Sumail.
There's going to be an Arteezy buyback as well, I think. This, I don't know, maybe not. Maybe IG are a bit hesitant here.
Without your RP and Omni Slash, do you really want to go again? Even Wukong's command is down for the moment.
It's actually true. The only rewards they can reap here are like ranged barracks. The bottom one's really low, but they're not going to go for it. Going to get some map control out rather and set themselves up for a better fight soon.
They're preparing for the next items. Lincoln Sphere is the build coming in from XXS. How are we looking for the Templar Assassin? Like, she finished the Bloodborne, but now actually has enough money for buyback. Some decent cash on the Juggernaut, and he's building a Monkey King bar. No evasion on this front.
Well, he's still, at least Clanks is still going to have the evasion against the TA when he's in BKB, because then he can't get Bloodthorn. But the Juggernaut can solo kill him with an Omni Slash, more or less, when he has MKB. So, difficult times ahead here for EG. Still feel like IG are just, after that fight, I was going to say EG are in a pretty good position, you know, like the racks are fairly even, they have the Aegis, they're in the opponent jungle. One misstep from Sumail, out of position for a moment, gets punished. The entire advantage is just gone within 10 seconds there.
So EG have to be able to get control of it back. Wait the timeout. Invictus Gaming. They're very happy with this. This is more time for their critical items. Universe, like even his next item, like he's looking at a Shadow Blade. Yeah. At least it lets him initiate and play around the fight a little bit harder.
He has to find heroes. It's like the only way they can play the Beastmaster now is find key hero and go. He has the Shadow Blade, he has the potential of finding a different angle. Maybe he can sneak past the Monkey King as well. Even if he's in a tree, he might be able to get a jump out of that.
If you're looking for that opportunity, though, like if it's all about EG getting the pick off, what do you think about Arteezy going in for this Assault Cuirass? Like it kind of makes sense for a push, but isn't it better just to ramp up the damage output on this Clinks?
I think it's a good choice because he's in this awkward position where, you know, if you're Clinks, you like going full glass cannon, but he's just too weak defensively.
Monkey King, Universe, Blink, Raw, all the 4-staff, not enough to save him. There's still more than enough damage. It was Q that was trying to help him with the 4-staff. Tornado was able to catch out Templar Assassin, but quick refraction up. Not wanting to use the blink in case they want to be aggressive. And it won't happen. Relocate was also burnt from crit.
So what you often see Clinks get here is a Monkey King bar. The problem with that is, yes, he can do even more damage. I think there's no evasion at all.
There's a Solar Crest.
There's a Crest on Monkey King. Okay, so he would be countering that. But the problem is he's too weak defensively. Now that the Monkey King bar is coming out and Juggernaut and Tia has this Bloodthorn, Arteezy is actually just dying too fast. And armor is the name of the game against this lineup of IG. They're so physically oriented in their damage type. The only hero really doing magic damage is actually
XXS. They see him. There's your RP solo with the Frostbite and the crit.
That's why he needs an easy. That was without Juggernaut, by the way. That was 3 heroes.
He was still Bloodthorn and Meld Strikes. Like, you want to say, get out of my game, that is exactly it.
Yeah, well. That was without Juggernaut, though. The AC is going to allow him to survive an Omni Slash or a TA jump. And I think it's naive for Arteezy to expect not to get targeted at all in a fight. He kind of has to have options, so I like this AC choice a lot. The concerning thing for him is he might actually not be able to complete it before IG look to push again. If he wants to have buyback, that is. There's still quite a ways to go for Arteezy to have buyback and the full full AC complete. Whereas Burning on the MKB could buy it now, then he won't have buyback, so I think he's going to save. This is a critical moment in the game to have buyback on especially your cores.
Especially if you're looking for an engagement.
Yeah.
Like, if you were happy just to keep this game going for a little bit longer and wait for
XXS
Roshan. Oh, this Blink Skewer. Zai. Ever see a cow move like that?
20 seconds. This is pretty bold from IG. They don't have RP.
Oh, Universe, Blink, Raw, Sunstrike, Juggernaut. Crit's actually buffing up the Necro melee warrior at the moment. Trying to get it back into the fight, battling against Burning, protected by that Linker Sphere. The tier 3 tower is dropping.
The Necro warrior lost Toby.
That's a brutal battle. Obviously, he wasn't Naughtiest Maxim up.
Crit didn't support it well enough. Didn't use.
He was not Gladiator.
He didn't mech and cheese. Mech and cheese.
Mech and cheese.
Sounds nice.
Well, this isn't the American major.
Well, that's it. They are going to back out. They almost got the tower. Roshan Control is, again, probably going to be the name of the game for IG. They did find these wards now. Going to get rid of that. Does OG actually... Or OG, EG. Does EG have any vision on the map? I think that was the last ward. I can't see any right now. So...
Well, they look pretty blind.
This is difficult. At least they have Hawk to scout with, but Arteezy can't scout. It's way too dangerous right now for him to go in front. All right, Arteezy doesn't care. Oh, he cares. He's not going to go down those stairs. So they only really have the summons to scout with. They are going to find this ward of IGs, so that is at least somewhat helpful. But and they did manage to sneak out a ward in mid. This is important. Like, if you just get a little bit of a safe zone somewhere around Rosh, so you have any information to go by. This ward in mid might not look like the greatest Roshan ward, but it's the only one they feel like they can realistically place that doesn't get countered immediately. And if it sees any pick for the Beastmaster, that could eventually lead to a Roshan free.
Here comes your 5-man smoke gank. IG. Arteezy was the bait. Still is the bait. In fact, EG will now smoke up themselves. There was no Radiant Vision in the tree line, so IG are pouncing themselves up. If that middle lane pushes in, it's that little bit harder. Actually, it won't. The bottom lane is also a little bit too far out as well. Still, Evil Geniuses, they got a small wave with them. The Radiant scanned the wrong area. They managed to do a complete loop-de-loop.
This is good for EG, I think. They
waited that time for Roshan. He's up in 25 seconds.
IG are on the wrong side of the map right now, and they got a ward out that isn't really yielding any benefit just now. They know that it's going to be around Roshan right now, and if EG stay here, and now IG are going to run through the aggressive ward that EG placed in their jungle. They see the TA. This could be a Rosh snipe if they stayed in the area, but they really need a Hawk in the pit right now, I feel. Or
it's moving to the shrine.
Anything in the pit for EG right now would give them some very valuable information.
They're still wondering where, like Invictus Gaming going to be setting up. That's why this Hawk has to come in so deep.
This is a really big pick if they get it.
Templar Assassin down. 99 seconds on the sideline. Does have buybacks available.
Huge.
They're actually taking the shrine out. That front line position where you can just TP in the TA after she buys back.
This is dangerous for IG now. If they buy back the TA and she dies, the game's pretty much over. If they don't buy her back, they lose the Rosh. So this is pretty much the perfect kill that EG could find.
So you wait then. IG just have to wait.
Yeah, you can see this Rosh. Let EG ferment some more cheese. Arteezy's sitting on the old one. Doesn't get better over time though in this game. He's actually going to drop it to Crit. He's going to take another cheese.
Crit was the original carrier.
Wait, so he just dropped the cheese to pick up a cheese.
Yeah, so Arteezy has cheese, Crit has cheese. So he could have also
just let Crit take cheese.
It's the Arise strat, man. It's overly complicated. And then Sumail.
But they didn't use Force Staff for the cheese. Maybe they'll do that next time. Alright, pushing time for EG. This is big. They can probably
42 seconds.
Okay, so if they can still force this TA buyback, this was a big mistake for IG. If they end up having to buy back anyway, they could have bought back and maybe contested the Roshan area.
They don't really have great high ground defense.
Oh, like this Hawk is good right now. It's really good. Universe.
They see a lot, but they need the opening. If the mid lane can keep being pushed out, then Arteezy can't do exactly what he's doing. In fact, they just skewer him in under the tier 4 towers, but the relocate pulls him out. Mag RP was committed, plus the Nova.
They have to do this, actually, IG. I think it's a good play. Even though it looks pretty bad for them that they don't get a kill with the RP.
They're waiting for the IO.
They save a buyback.
They can kill the IO. They actually bring RTZ back in with it, so quick Omni Slash bounces actually out to RTZ and away from Crit, leaving Burning straight at outside. Maybe with the charge, Zai, he's able to get a short-range charge only, but Crit so low, in comes XXS, goes from the skewer, but then none of them in the Wukong command. EG get out, Crit remains alive with 110 HP. Meanwhile, up on the north, Universe takes out the end of the top racks, BTing in for this and having IG looking behind themselves. But IG didn't have to commit the buyback on OP. So they hold their tier 3 towers, they hold their mid and their bottom racks, and all they lost technically was the range.
Yes, and EG
Because it wasn't even a kill.
EG did... Wait, didn't they lose the Aegis? Oh, they still have it on Sumail.
Yep, no, they lost. They even commit cheese.
No.
They used the cheese on RTZ.
Nope.
Oh no, you're right, because Io is currently becoming the Cheesecake Factory.
Archeesy?
Cheesy. Oh,
dear, what am I doing? He wants the Hyperstone, so that's the full AC, I believe. And buyback. Not available, actually. Arteezy should have maybe stayed in school a bit longer and finished that math course that he didn't, because if he dies now, that's actually a pretty big problem.
I'm sorry, cheesemakers aren't allowed 8th-grade math skills.
Okay, explain this to me. So when you're Monkey King sitting in a tree, why can you turn yourself into a tree and there's a tree on top of a tree?
Yeah, he should become a butterfly.
I mean, something
That
else.
would be better camouflage. Or a branch. Like this really odd-looking, wonky branch.
I don't know. Imagine you're the other team and you scout him with a hawk. You're like, I wonder which one is Monkey King. Is it the tree on top of another one that are literally not connected, or is it one of the ones surrounding it?
The natural growth. Oh, RTZ initiated, but again, it's the relocate save, but at least it's only Burning having to commit his Abyssal Blade in order to get that jump, and it's not the RP.
It gave them
of XXS.
It gave them a mid tower, but this is probably going to cost them. I don't think EG can save
Oh,
them.
they actually bring in RTZ as well. The RP will catch 2. In for the spin. You've got your refresher orb up, so there's a secondary RP available, but RTZ's down for 95 seconds, and there's no IO for 50 with no buyback for him.
I think Crit just mistimed it. He
meant to sever.
He wanted to instant tether after relocate ended, and he cast it too early. So he brought Arteezy back with him and just threw him to the hounds. That's actually a pretty big misplay at this point. This is going to open up the map for IG, and they can more than likely force this Klink's buyback. That's 60 seconds about. So when they reach the base, more like 50, I guess.
And all they got to do is the mid, because then they can just rotate towards the top and get the megas. That megas. Now back to the wall of the living. Will he be sent back to where he belongs? Sumail, BKBs with the tornado is created. He'll blink, he'll ghost walk, and he's on the run. But you still lost almost your entire rack. The range rack is alive, so they don't actually have the megas here in Victus Gaming.
The only buyback there was the TA, right?
Klinks also bought back.
He did?
So you had a buyback on Klinks and TA.
There's a lot that happened in this log. Actually, can't even see that. That's a lot of things happening within a minute. So, well, there's one mid lane of racks left for IG, and there's one ranged racks left for EG. And more than likely, if one team fully commits to get a racks, it will be a trade, and it's megas against megas. And I think if we get to that stage, that will favor EG more than IG, just because the dynamic of the map just changes with all these hard creeps pushing just a little bit of momentum.
The bad position for him. He's being charged down. The push. He'll actually drag him back into the Sunstrike. Buyback is available. But he's also going to be careful. Bobica spent all of his money to buy the Assault Cuirass. So you don't have buyback on your Monkey King. And you still don't have RP for 42 seconds.
That's actually really bold. I'm surprised he didn't keep buyback instead of that.
Maybe it's just the confidence, the double RP. They still have to wait. Like, when RP's back off cooldown, so was the Refresher Orb.
Yep.
And he's actually going in now for the Octarine as the second one.
EG definitely want to force this buyback, and I think they can. But there's a lot of pressure on XXS right now. I think at least one of the RPs has to catch 2 heroes, or they need to double RP the cores. Because buybacks for EG plus relocate can get really, really nasty when they're inside the enemy base. And if OP dies, he doesn't have buyback. So there's a lot of things stacked up against IG right now. Good vision being planted here by EG. The gem will spot it, but I don't think Q dares to go for it.
No, it's too far away. Like, and no one's got a quick quelling blade, so you actually have to walk up and hit the damn thing.
They don't have any man to
XXS.
He might not have seen it, actually. They're not dealing with it at all.
XXS is staring down Sumail. He wants it, but Sumail's got a Refresher Orb, so that's double the BKB, double the Shivas, and double the abilities.
If he gets RP'd, that Refresher does very little. If he gets BKB off, though, he won't get skewered.
Okay.
Oh,
Hello,
RTZ going for it.
There's your RP. XXS going to drag it back under the T-Ball Tower to relocate. It's so quick from Crit. RTZ will survive, and they got the buyback on the Juggernaut, so EG get a victory on that front.
All right, let's see if Crit kills Artur again. Nope. Just himself this time.
Yep.
Good choice.
We support your death.
I think this was what EG were hoping to happen. They got out an RP, they got the Jugger buyback, and all they paid was a Wisp, who will still be alive for the Roshan spawn.
XXS still wants to go again. Like, he instantly triggered that Refresher Orb to look for a secondary RP.
EG are using their tools very, very well right now. They, like we've talked about a lot, their team fight is inferior, but if they get these like really quick jump picks and catch IG off guard, the fights are playable. So this is very difficult for EG, but they managed to get the little advantages they can, and now Universe could actually buy a Refresher and have buyback. And a double Roar is scary stuff for IG to deal with. He gets one on the mag.
He's going back for it now.
Oh, really, any 2 Roars. Whatever he can get. If he can get both Roars off, that's a very good start to the fight. Even if he catches like the Crystal Maiden and Monkey King, for example. That's still probably good enough. Just getting some control out on some key heroes that lock them down. All of the heroes for IG right now are kind of key, actually. The Crystal Maiden even has an Ethereal Blade, which there is actually no answer for at all.
Well, no one bought Diffusal Blade.
That's a really big deal. He could save the Roar target. The only damage that really goes through the Roar, or through the E-Blade rather, is Sumail, who's going to be loving the fact that they're ethereal, but apart from that, Beastmaster can't really deal any damage, Clinks can't, Spirit Breaker limited, IO Spirits, it's like, probably not enough. So Burning should more or less be invulnerable, actually, if the Crystal Maiden is in a good position.
They're looking to fight here.
They want to try to jump. They're baiting him super hard here. Nice
Burning. Oh, the RP! XXS, he blew it! Oh, no! Bail, 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 bail. This is not the fight you wanted, but Sumail did burn his first BKB, at least.
EG know Refreshers on cooldown if they paid attention, so they have a minute here.
Yeah.
No RP.
That could do.
They could actually just go in for this, so they know there's no glyph, because they forced that the last time, and they have buybacks on which heroes?
Buybacks are available for Mag, CM, Invoker, Beastmaster, and SB.
But EG actually have only one. Oh, they have Invoker and Beast, so if they...
Invoker, Beast, SB, yep.
If they commit in, and they force the enemy team to go on, for example, the Beastmaster, both of these heroes have Boots of Travel. Invoker should actually just buy Travels too, I think. And he could buy back and travel in on a hero to make sure it completes. And if they like bait him to get Rex, it's worth it. If they could somehow set up that fight, but they're really cautious here. This is such a
They're still waiting for Roshan as well. Like, they actually got so unlucky with the Roshans one time, but forced off.
Very quick.
He actually used it himself when that roll was kicking in.
Very, very quick there from Q.
Yep. Gets back up before they can actually get into Roshan. And then again, let EG get another